you happen to be waiting, you might actually see us, but who knows? Is there anybody out there?
Hello.
Oh, yeah,
Can you hear me?
Is it me you're looking for?
This is the great part for the YouTube video afterwards, where they go, yeah, maybe we won't watch this podcast.
Oh. Look, man, Christina and I are hilarious. I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
Right,
Why would you not want to watch us listen? Why would you not want to listen to us sing Lionel Richie?
Well, to be fair, if you're here, you're either starting at the end or you've made it through a lot of stuff already. And nothing we say now will probably dissuade you from going further.
That's how addiction works.
So here we are, though, last episode, which is sort of episode 20. I think really we've done 21 of these because I had an episode 0. So our this campaign is now old enough to drink. So,
yay!
Which is mostly good news for Rob, and the rest of us it's less important. Which means you've caught up to my kids, I also now have a kid who's old enough to drink, so hey, that's a thing.
Hooray!
You do?
I sure do.
Gonna have to get him some shots.
That doesn't sound right, Greg.
I don't think
You
I've ever met
might want to
one.
go check. I'm pretty sure your kids are all like 14.
Well, we just use one age for all 3 of them just to make it simpler.
That.
One age,
Makes
one
sense for the
name.
birthday.
It's really, it's way more simple. You don't have to remember things, so that's good. Well, I think we are past our starting point, and there might be some of our watchers might be joining us soon. So let's, as we recap a little bit, last session we found the Necromancer, discovered that he was Alatar, one of the Astari, and convinced him to not let Ungoliant loose upon the world in order to complete I'm not going to say harebrained scheme, but to complete a scheme that would involve then getting the Valar from Amon to return to Middle-earth and save everyone from all of the stuff that they just did. It makes perfect sense in some lights, and if you're in enough darkness, perhaps. And in his case, he was in enough shadow and eventually repented himself and disappeared into the darkness of the spider, probably to never be seen again.
Probably.
What do you mean, probably?
Wait, what? I thought we brought him out.
Oh no, you're totally right. Yes, he's now.
Excuse me. We saved the guy I see my self-reflection in. Thank you very much.
Hey, wait a minute.
Future Nestriel.
No, he's actually in the Elven City here, unconscious and under a guard, being ready to hopefully be reformed at some point, understanding the world, the things that he did. And that's where we're going to pick up our session here, our last session. I think we're just going to kind of jump in this time around and get to there, because we're going to have some opportunity to work with all of your characters as we go through our last set of stuff this session. And we've got things to do, and we're just going to do them till we're done. So I don't know how long that'll take. If you all die, throw yourselves into Mount Doom, it'll be pretty quick.
Hey.
No. Nope.
Interesting strategy.
Don't knock it till you tried it.
So as you sit in the city of the Dark Elves, alongside the lake of the beginning of the world, you are preparing to return. Well, the first question is, where is your first destination? Are you headed north to, say, the Lonely Mountain, where a dragon might be able to eat some rings of power for you? Or are you journeying further south to where there is a relatively, currently, not very famous volcano that is well known for the destruction of powerful artifacts?
Well, you see, the thing is, we're missing one of those rings of power. We should have 7, I believe. And I'm informed that we have 6. And there are very few people that could be responsible for that last missing ring. So, I think some of us need to go have a deep, hopefully effective conversation with some Avari, and maybe some insightful roles can help us determine who the heck stole the Ring of Power.
So I assume you're talking about Melos and Wethril.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's either them, one of us, or one of 2, I believe, other people.
But these seem unlikely.
I mean, I hope they're unlikely. But we'll find out.
Okay. Well, certainly as you prepare to go, Melos and Wethril are around. Melos has been a bit busy dealing with the spirit realm and ensuring that all of the chaos that the Witch King has been instigating is starting to fade, and that the spirit realm has calmed down significantly. So that's good. But there is a feast the night before you leave, where you have an opportunity to talk to both of them.
All right, team. Which one of you feels closest to Wethril?
I like her.
I mean, yeah, I like her.
I don't think it's me.
She's a pretty solid person.
I mean, great fighter.
Are we worried about Withril withholding something?
I don't think she necessarily is, but her father might, and if she knows, it's probably best we ask both of them, just in case. We're not as close to Melios as we are Wethril. I am okay talking to Melios, but I was hoping either Kellyan or Gundyr would volunteer to talk to Wethril.
I can talk, but as far as sensing people's intentions and stuff, that's kind of a wobbly thing.
I'm a little better at that.
We can tag team it.
Sounds good. Let's
That
take
could be a
it.
good
Go
idea.
do it. Yeah.
So the last dinner, they set it out upon the lakeshore, in the kind of the darkness. There is a little bit of light, right? Because they're also sort of unveiling that tree thing that they put across the lake as another light. So not only do you have the stars reflected in the almost clear, perfectly calm lake in front of you, there's also this bright light in the distance that reflects across the water, sending kind of a beam that parts the darkness of the lake itself as you look across it. There are many elves here. Most of them just not ones you've seen or encountered before, and they have many of them have come up to say hello. They do not speak the language well, but there is quite a bit of that's almost a receiving line in a sense of those that have would introduce themselves and say something in Elvish to you. Most of it seems positive. After this occurs, you sit down upon the lake and stare out at it as a wonderful but very different elven food comes, because there's a lot of mushrooms and meats that a little less of the standard elf berry and wine stuff here. But it is very tasty. And at
Suits my palate.
You are set at a table with both Melos and Wethril, as well as the leaders of here, and once the food is started, there is plenty of opportunity to talk to people. Kelly and Gundyr, what's your? I mean, who starts this?
Well, I figured we're just gonna dive right into it.
Just gonna dive right in.
You rip off the band-aid, all that stuff. So while we're eating and stuff, I'm assuming like we're sitting next to our friend, and I lean down at her, and I kind of like keep it so it's like only between like the three of us. It seems like we're missing a ring. Did you by chance pick one up, or do you know by chance who might have taken it from us?
I do not know where it might have gone.
Well, I sense motive on that shit. Oh god, she doesn't know. I know she doesn't know. She's a good person. All right, that's going to be 24.
Wait, did we have did we have more and we lost one? I thought we just never collected all of them.
No, we had them all, I thought.
You at least very briefly had 7 when you did the very initial count when you
Yeah,
were
we had
putting
7.
them there.
Now we got 6.
But by the time you got back to the outside of the spirit realm, there were only 6. So what'd you get, Gundyr, again? Sorry.
24 for
24.
sense
That's
motive.
correct. She seems to be telling the truth.
Yeah.
Do you by chance think of anybody else who could have possibly taken it from us? It seems strange that it would be done right under our noses and we didn't know, so your input would be very useful.
Well, I do feel like that if I'd wanted to take it, I could have.
Mm-hmm.
Who else would have had your skill to do it?
That's fair. Fair.
Certainly those that have taught me these skills here would be a possibility, I suppose. But I am not aware at all of what those other 2 humans could have done or what they could do. Although it is not something that I've particularly seen any of you do. Although the small one does seem pretty... He often does things that I'm surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So out of the 2, let's just throw a random person, like maybe your dad or our companion, which of them would be the most likely to have taken it?
I do not think my father would be interested in such a dark artifact.
You don't think he would? Why was that?
He already has his power over the spirit world. Why would he need more?
Fair point.
Just because people have a great amount of power does not mean that's what they stop at just that point. Some people are susceptible to try to push it further.
That is true.
Perhaps, just to be safe, do you think you could do us a favor and kind of touch the waters and kind of see if anybody's mentioned these rings? We can start with your dad or anybody else that you think has the capabilities of doing so. Just so that we cover our bases, because we should see these all destroyed.
Are we gonna have to get everybody together and just empty our pockets? Turn your pockets inside out.
Well, I know that no one in this party would
out. Oh my god!
dare mess with a darkly powerful, corrupted artifact.
Yeah.
Nestriel.
Rude.
Yeah, nobody.
All red just sitting quietly judging.
Well, luckily we know she doesn't really have the skills to do that stealthily.
Why do I travel with you guys?
Not wrong.
I mean, really isn't.
I will, if any word of it comes to me, I will certainly let you know. Although it is unlikely, the message may take some time.
Well, we trust you, Wethrel.
You've been a very good friend. Are you going to be staying here?
I am planning on staying. I have been gone for a long time, and there are things to do at home. People, and it is important, I think, given what has happened, that we have someone to tell stories of the outside world to the folks and the people that have never left before we send someone else out. But perhaps when we, and if we decide that we are no longer to be completely isolated here and that the rest of the world is a place that we will go, that I may be one of those that travels and we may see each other again.
What do you say to one last bar before we all do our own ways?
One last bar?
Spar. Bar. I mean, we could do bar too, but
We could do both. We could hit
yeah.
the bar and spar.
Do you not feel like the time for fighting is... I have not had much fighting for thousands of years, and just this small amount of it seems like too much.
Well, she's a Dunedain, so yeah,
that's
fighting
basically all we
is
do.
a big fucking deal for her. And I mean, I enjoy a good scrap.
Mortals, am I right?
Hey,
It's a
we're
good
short-lived.
means of like building like camaraderie. It's also a good way of making ends.
It is the memory that I share with you that is very pleasant. I will happily spar one last time this night beneath the stars in my home before you leave.
Yeah, I want to see that shadow thing that you do, where you disappear and then reappear behind me. That's crazy.
Oh, come on. You know you're not going to just sit by and watch.
Obviously, I'm not gonna sit by and watch. I'm just saying that.
All right, get up. I like
I
how you
wanna
like tap him on the
sit
back
there.
of his head.
Ow! Hey.
Yeah?
I'll fight you too.
Well, yeah. Free for all.
Free for all.
Okay, so after anything else at dinner, or are we after dinner where there's going to be some late night sparring for Gunder and Kellyan before you all leave in the morning?
I'll have a casual scholarly conversation with Malios about the Rings of Power and the dangers they present and something perpetual corruption and the One Ring exists and everything's all terrible. So, if he ever finds out what happened to that seventh one, it would be incredibly important to make sure that it gets destroyed instead of used. But I'm sure he already knows all of that. I just wanted to share my concerns with somebody who would understand them.
Oh, he totally understands. He's look at what those people with the ring tried to do. They tried to break out the spirits and destroy the door between the living and the dead, and that's something that can never happen. And certainly the corruption of those rings is part of what led them down that dark path.
He doesn't think either of those other humans that were there would have been so silly as to take the missing one, or does he think there's some way one of the wraiths, maybe even the Witch King himself, could have called their rings back to them?
I mean, he doesn't know a lot about Rings of Power, but he does feel that the wraiths that their spirits no longer held power. So that part seems a little less true to him.
Oh dang.
Well, that leaves Nestriel in a very baffled state of mind. But not much to be done about it. Follow-up. What's the leader dude's name? I know I have it written down somewhere.
I mean, I know I have it written down somewhere too.
I have Anwe listed as Talavari.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
think
him. Yep, that's
the only
him.
other one that we've talked to. My notes make me giggle sometimes. Anwe, I know me and my group have to leave to go take care of some things that need to be handled, but I would like to come back at some point and watch the growth of this tree of light, if that's all right with you.
I believe, at least as for now, that you and your companions are welcome whenever you might wish to return.
Fantastic. Scribbles furiously in notebook.
It is true that we may also send someone to spend more time with you and understand these parts of the world that we have not seen or heard of before. But we will have our own growth to do. As he looks out across the lake at the glowing tree.
Cool, good. That's all. That's all the agenda items for here.
Okay, Kelly and Gundyr, after everyone has kind of settled down, and there's just basically they're very elvishly, they're sitting in like a circle along the side of the lake telling stories. You and Wethril wander off, pick up some sticks, and start beating on each other.
Yeah.
I would like to say, like, you know, it's a little bit more, like, cool looking than just, like, whacking each other like whack-a-mole, but, you know.
Well, let's be fair, how Gundyr fights is a lot like whack-a-mole.
That's true.
How Wethril fights is in zero ways like whack-a-mole.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, other than maybe like how the mole, like whenever you hit it, it's like disappears and it's someplace else. Actually, it is a lot
Yeah.
like whack-a-mole.
Yeah. that bit is like whack-a-mole, but
So far you're not convincing me it's not like whack-a-mole.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay, Gundyr, give me a d20.
All right.
You too, Kellyan.
Alrighty, here we go. D20.
Hey,
Rolled a 19.
cool. I too rolled a 19. You probably got better though, because your strength is probably insanely better than mine.
Well, one of you is just focused on one class, and that class happens to be beat people on the head class.
Right.
The class.
That is me. That's me, baby.
Clearly her heart is not in it as much as it was in the past. For between the two of you and what you have learned, you don't just match Wethril, but you clearly seem the superior today. It's possible she's letting you win.
Oh, come on, Wethril, kick their asses!
Our heart's not
At
just,
least
just
kick
not in
his
it.
ass.
That's fair. You can at least kick Gundyr's ass. He can take it.
Yeah.
I mean,
kick
she
my
has
ass.
already done that once.
I
That once.
don't think we're taking it too seriously. It's just more of a friendly.
But I'm gonna take this for what it is, and when we wind down, I'm just gonna tell her that we're gonna miss you too.
Oh.
I, in my long life, have never particularly had like friends per se, at least as you talk of friends. I would say that my brother was probably a friend, and he is gone now. Somewhere in this whole story of darkness, he did not make it here to stand with us. But at least I have another brother and another sister that I hope I will see again.
I give her
Hurry
a
up, they don't
hug.
live long.
Oh.
Alfred!
So I give her a hug, and then I push her back just a little bit by the shoulders, and I look at her, actually look up at her. I guess not in the shoulders and maybe her elbows. But anyways, I look up at her. You know what? You were one of the best friends I've ever met here amongst all of these people too. Thank you. You too. Don't worry, I'm getting to you. I'm getting to you. You're like a sister to me too, and I can't wait until the next time we see each other, because there is going to be a next time.
All of the ages of the earth stand before us.
Well, all I can really say is that it's been an honor fighting with you. It's been good having you watch my back, and vice versa. Yeah, we humans don't live quite as long as you guys do, but I'm glad I don't regret spending the time I did with you.
Well, no, that's over. Let's get some drinks, huh?
Hell yeah.
Well, though alcohol here is more of a liqueur than a wine, so that's probably good for Gundyr.
Yeah, it is.
But morning does eventually dawn, and your horses are saddled, and you are ready to ride.
I give
Can I-
one
go
final hug to my friend, and then I get on my horse.
Who's giving me a lift?
I'll lift you. You can be on my horse.
Assuming they let me see Alatar before we go, I want to stop by wherever his holding cell is. If he is awake.
Sure.
I don't actually know what they did with him. We didn't really talk about it. I just asked them not to kill him outright.
Well, they actually have very much like deep underground pits to put people into.
I'm sure that's pleasant.
Fun.
So I'm gonna descend into the pit of darkness and call out to Alatar, see if he'll talk to me at all.
He is in there, and they have a guard down there, but they will let you talk to him. Yeah. He is conscious. It's been a day or so.
Alatar, I know you've seen far more shadow than any of the rest of us have, and I am sad to see it corrupting you so very deeply, but I promise you that there is still light to be had. And if you will permit me, I wish to leave a reminder of this light with you. And I will take off Threnwill's gift to me and slide it as close as I can to him without getting in the cell with him.
What?
Just remember that there are people that care that are not the Valar, and we will do our best to make sure that the Shadow never wins the victory you see is inevitable. Please, don't give up. Then I'm gonna leave.
Oh, snap.
Okay. He does not respond, but he does look at you as you. He is conscious and looking at you. But he does not provide any words with your gift.
That's fair.
The gift is taken, and the dark, haunted eyes of Alatar are the last thing you see before you turn and head out.
All right. Is it bad that I get inherently nervous when the DM is typing?
Yeah.
No, that's normal.
Especially after you
I think
hand
it's natural.
the bad guy NPC a valuable item.
Yeah. It's fine.
He's not a bad guy anymore, hopefully.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Look, man, I'm having a very Frodo Gollum heavy moment here.
I
We're carrying
pity him.
Yeah.
Is he gonna jump out at us as we cast the rings into the pit?
Something like that.
I would be very impressed.
It's true, yeah.
Gollum decided
Upset.
the best way to find the One Ring was to time travel.
Mm.
You guys didn't know, but at the end here, during the finale, where of course, like most finales, we'll suddenly throw time travel in just because. For no good
Ah,
reason.
of course, yes.
Gollum steps out of a blue police box.
Stop right there, criminal.
Ironically, it's bigger on the outside than it is on the inside.
That's disquieting.
What?
Yeah, you are a gem.
Okay, on the horses you go. Where are you headed? I mean, if you're headed towards Mount Doom, you're probably going to go back pretty much the same way you came and then turn south about the Eothrame before you hit Mirkwood. If you want to go north, you might take a little bit different route.
My vote is the mountain.
The Lonely Mountain to entreat a dragon to breathe
Oh,
fire on a bag.
No, let me say that.
The
That's
other.
no. The
the
fire
other.
mountain. Yeah.
The
I heard vote for
volcano.
mountain, so we're
Yes.
going to the dragon.
I want to go to the
Volcano.
mountain that's by itself in some plains.
Yeah.
Wait.
Wait, no.
It's kind of near a lake.
I'm all about tossing something into hot lava versus trying to convince
Oh,
a
okay.
dragon not to eat us and instead eat the rings instead of hoarding them.
Well, with news from afar, how much do we know about the dragon?
Not a lot. The only other thing of note is that it doesn't appear to be a winged drake. So no flying.
What?
It's a big lizard.
Basically, that breathes fire.
Wait, does it breathe fire for sure?
Most assuredly.
I mean, if it doesn't fly,
Yeah, you're pretty sure it breathes fire.
I mean, it has to do something.
There's
Big
only
and has
like two
teeth.
types of drakes in my mind. There's ice drakes and fire drakes. It's one of the two.
Well, in Middle Earth, there's drakes with wings and drakes without. So your
Right.
Glorungs and your Ankeligons.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, Ankeligon and his smog-like ancestors, no, the opposite of ancestors, descendants are generally considered to be the scarier, but that's only if you haven't read of Turin Turambar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The
just
Glorung is
another.
by far the scariest dragon that ever lived.
Thanks, Morgoth.
Yeah. Fucking Morgoth, piece of shit.
Just here. There he goes, making it worse.
If there was a paraphrase for whatever Morgoth has done, it is
There
there he goes again, making it
making
worse.
I'm glad we could boil down one of the scariest creatures in Middle Earth to one phrase.
Well, I think this is one of those group decisions that we kind of have to talk about. Do we want to go and see what a dragon is doing, make sure it's not a threat in general, or go to Mordor?
Okay, well, first of all, that question is stupid because
And generally-
a dragon is always a threat, Nestriel. There is
What?
no such thing as a friendly dragon. All right?
There's always a first.
No.
Oh, come on.
well, I mean, how tough could it be? We just faced down a bunch of Nazgul.
No. Easiest thing to do so that we don't have to run the risk of it either A, eating us, or B, not even eating the rings instead sending it to his horde, is to throw it into lava. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Done.
What's Mordor looking like in this time frame?
Well, Mordor is still under the watch of Gondor, so there's some orcs probably running around because their watch isn't great. And you would probably have to go through a Gondorian encampment or gate on the north side of Mordor there to get in. But in theory, it wouldn't be that hard. You're talking like some roving bands of orcs or something as the major challenge to getting up to Mount Doom.
Between you military people, I think would be fun going to Mordor.
Military people.
I think that's true.
Alright, you and I can go check out the dragon later.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What?
Gunner's gonna have to come too.
I know.
Well, I mean, it's at Lonely Mountain. It's basically like going to be. It's on the Woodland Realms back door there. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check it out eventually. That's all I'm saying.
I understand that, but we get one thing at a time. All right.
Right.
Also,
That
these
works
rings,
out for us every time.
yeah, these rings aren't exactly light. All right.
They burning a hole in your pocket, per se.
Something like that.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, off through the plains towards the south in Mount Doom.
Yeah, off to Mount Doom, the safer option.
Yes, actually.
I hear it's
Uh,
around this time of year.
I'm excited
Yeah, this is
because this is a
100%
Middle Earth
fact.
game, and I'm going to basically sort of like hand wave the journey to Mount Doom. That's kind of funny.
From a narrative perspective, I can see where there'd be an issue.
Well, I mean, more or less. At this point, I'm not doing travel events or anything today, this session, because we don't really have time for them, among other things. And, you know, the party's more or less at the point where there's not a lot out there that's going to offer significant challenges to you. I
Yeah.
mean, even from a wilderness perspective, you're all very capable wilderness travelers within the group at this stage. So the trip is primarily uneventful. There are no hordes of wraiths attacking you, or you probably do run into some orcs, but it's not relevant. At least in general, the other peoples that you find along the way, both the Azadriags and the Eothrame, are mostly friendly at this point, so you have a good trip. Do you stop by the Eothrame? Yeah, you do. We'll stop by the Eothrame first before we head
Yeah.
south. And you return to where you started this journey months ago, because it is months to get back.
Mm-hmm.
And when you arrive back there, it does appear that Margaret is not there.
Okay, but nobody mentioned anything about no rings.
Obviously.
Don't mention no rings.
Just don't say anything about the rings.
Okay.
We could talk about Five Rings, an excellent tabletop RPG with good. I mean,
Wait, what?
I have yet to play that. Ugh.
oh,
It's good.
another time.
I've also heard of a city that has between
The
4
ring
and 6
city.
rings.
Okay. Well, so Allred, as you ride up there, the Outriders greet you and ride into the encampment with you as if with a hero's escort.
Yeah.
I'm a hero's escort.
You are.
With a, as Margaret is not there, his wife and family greet you and say that he has much of the strength of the Eothrame has joined the North to ensure that the legacy of the Witch King is completely destroyed, and they are expecting them back soon.
Good.
A noble goal. Has it gone well?
All reports are that the Witch King is destroyed, the North is clear of the darkness, and the orcs are being driven into the hills.
We've heard tale of a dragon.
There have been rumored sightings of a dragon up by the large mountain that they call the Lonely Mountain by the lake, but it has yet to cause much havoc.
I'm telling you, it's the first time for everything.
No sense in poking a sleeping dragon, though,
Maybe-
Nesri.
Maybe the dragon's just trying to keep it company.
Hopefully it stays this way.
It won't. I mean, yes. This positive thing is really hard.
You'll get it someday.
It's not your natural state.
Not for a long time.
So, yeah. They throw you a feast, all of that stuff, and of course, many of the Eothraim come up to you all red and they're like, well, now that that journey is complete and you've been honored by Markared, it is, and married to Gliriel, you're getting ready to settle down, we can, we'll find a longhouse for you.
Stop looking at me like that, Bodhi. Our journey is not yet complete. We still have a few things that we need to take care of before I can think about settling down.
Oh, well, good. We'll make sure there's a place for you whenever you need it.
Thank you for honoring me.
Have you talked to Gliriel about this? You sure she doesn't want to
go back home, maybe? Like,
no, I didn't know they were going to offer me a longhouse.
We've been traveling for months. You guys haven't talked about this yet?
Right. What about kids?
Oh,
Do you guys want kids?
No, easy. Remember the whole, like, don't have kids thing we got told by Elrond?
Kellyanne, let the man breathe.
I'm
Might
just
be
saying,
more
like, this
imperative for you to have
conversation
kids.
usually comes up.
When
Makes-
Elrond tells you don't have kids, maybe you listen. I don't know.
makes very pointed eye contact with Gliriel.
Hold on a second.
What, are you saying you're not going to have any kids, Nesriel? With,
I never said that. Gundyr and I haven't had a chance to talk about it yet.
Yeah, we haven't had a chance to talk about it.
Huh. And this journey just, you know...
Well, you know, when you're trying to save the world, sometimes
I mean-
procreation.
I know, but, like, I mean,
yeah,
that's
now
not
it's
gonna
definitely
work.
not a good time.
Maybe we'll just cross these bridges when we get to them.
Well,
Are you going to settle
How
up
do
north
you
with
know
the
you're at that
Bjornlings?
bridge?
I need to be an aunt, so just saying. I'd make a damn fine
Maybe.
aunt.
You should worry about getting yourself a husband. Is Nice Butt Guy still here?
What if you
Oh, I
cross-
can totally find nice butt
He
guy.
totally forgot about me. It doesn't matter. Wait a
Well, the
second.
curse is lifted. Exactly.
You know, I think there's a thing over there that I need to take care of. Come on, Lily, let's go.
In order to avoid all of our own problems, we go find a nice butt guy.
That's right.
That's where I heard the conversation was going. Like,
I'm
ooh,
going to ask around for nice butt guy.
Kellyanne is asking difficult questions. Let's distract her with nice butt guy.
Yep. She's
What was the
asking
last time
far
it
too
worked?
many questions.
He just wants to be an aunt, guys.
Oh, mortals are so impatient.
We don't have a lot of time.
Nice man.
Yeah, nice butt guy isn't here because he was from the previous. He actually went off to war,
Oh shit!
so you do not find him.
Dang it.
Damn it.
Well, that was a nice hour worth of distraction.
Yep.
Hey, but you do look
Maybe
for him
she-
at great length.
Right. Yeah, maybe Kellyanne's forgot about her questions now.
Oh, wow, look at the time. It's getting real
We're
late,
having
guys. I gotta go to
serious
bed.
conversation.
Oh wow! We just set up for Mount Doom. Let's look at that.
Well, it's time to set off for Mount Doom. No time for idle chatter about the future.
Half-elf babies that may or may not destroy the world. That's fine.
Nestril, I need to talk
What?
to you.
Oh god.
I need to talk to you too. Can we all three of us talk together?
Might as well bring Gliriel in on this. Just,
I
Yeah,
mean,
I
not,
think-
it's kind of important to her.
I
so,
think we're
you
all
know.
gonna need to have a little powwow.
Oh god.
Well, you got
Just
plenty of
can't have
time on your
Kellyanne.
trip down south to Mount Doom.
Mm-hmm.
That's
How-
what it was said, like, on our way back from, the shadow place to here. Just saying. I make a
So you guys having a powwow?
I mean, it's gonna have to happen sooner or later.
I mean, it's on my list of things that
cow.
need to happen. So.
Oh God, it's on the DM's list. I don't think
list
that's like the
of
Dean's list.
things that needed to happen.
Yeah, I have a list of things that need to happen today, and that's on them.
Well, shit. All right, Gundyr, do you want to have kids? I know we kind of overheard Alred and Gliro getting the 3rd degree from 2 incredibly powerful elves telling them not to, and my dad would certainly be very unhappy if that happened. But
Not a reason not to have kids.
Yeah, that's
3 of the
man.
most powerful elves of Middle Earth telling you not to.
Yeah, I don't understand why they told us that though. Could someone fill me in?
Like,
Oh
why
my
is that a
goodness.
thing? Like, I
Because
don't.
You read
racist.
history?
We don't. The Yildirim don't have history books.
Ugh,
I didn't learn to read until I was 30.
how old are you, Alred?
Old enough.
Older than 30.
Older than 30. Nestril, I am 26 years old.
Oh God.
If I'm lucky, I have another 60 years ahead of me, and I can't waste that time learning shit that you already know.
Yeah,
That's
so
fair.
what?
But
what
you're
is
my-
the whole?
You don't have to learn that.
Yeah,
Well, explain it to us then. What's this whole no elves and humans?
All right. Well, the Spark Notes version of it is once upon a time, a human and an elf fell in love, and they had a baby, and then that baby had to choose between immortality and mortality, and then decisions were made, and there was something about a kingdom almost getting destroyed, and there was another kid. I don't actually know. Out of character, I have no fucking clue what's happening. In character, I probably know exactly what's happening.
Yeah, there's a whole story about how, that the two, Bran and Luthien, and how their relationship basically caused lots and lots of trouble. But it sort of depends on how you look at it too, because it is also their actions that stole Silmaril from Morgoth, and that same Silmaril is one of the ones that was taken by their grandchild to go to Amon to get the Valar to come help them against Morgoth, which was very relevant to last week's conversation, actually. But because they were sort of trying to recreate that. But so one could argue that that Irondil himself, the grandchild, was uniquely suited to represent Middle Earth because he had both the heritage of the mortals and the immortals, and used that helpfully to persuade the Valar, but no one really knows what that conversation was actually like, so that's all.
So they're very powerful, and they end up entangled in very powerful things.
Well,
For better or for worse.
How is that a bad thing, though?
we
It
just
makes-
defeated a great evil. So
it makes
like,
those in power nervous because it's an unpredictable element of a mixture of cultures. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I would very much like to have a child.
I'm an unpredictable
It's not like-
element.
It's not like kingdoms have ever fallen for other reasons than half elves. That's never happened before.
Never. No. I haven't
No.
heard of a single instance.
well, I feel that our fate is ours
It's not
to
like
choose.
a half elf is one of the beacons of light in the world, ruling over Rivendell.
Fair point.
It's not like giving people a choice what to do with their own soul is a good thing.
Yeah, well, so, listen. One, I do want to have kids.
Oh, thank
There, I
goodness.
said it. And secondly, I also want to do this right and at least talk to your dad at least once.
Oh,
I understand your reservations. But
I think just
have to
having the
do
kids way safer.
that. It's way safer.
Just have a kid without asking. Do it now.
Yeah.
Ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah, that's the best way to do
Thranduil
it.
will crumble when he sees.
He can't kill you. He can't kill you if you are the father to his grandson.
Yes, he can.
Yes, he
I'm pretty sure you
Oh.
still can.
can.
Okay, well, it's worth
Oh.
a shot.
Listen, I mean, obviously those 2 points of contention are like that. You and I being together is going to happen regardless of what he says.
Yes.
I'm saying that right now, but I would really like to talk to him at least once. Even if that means that it might come to blows and I have to like run away or something.
Should I
Okay.
provide an
Wait.
escape route?
Glariel, you don't have a father I need to go talk to, do you? Should we talk to him before we do any? I don't even. Do you want? Are we? Is this a? See?
That's a very
See?
human way of looking at it, and I appreciate it.
Hey, Glariel, let's go to the tent.
Let's go to the tent.
We got something to accomplish.
Got some bridges to cross.
Well, shit, if they're trying today, look, so Galerial and I were talking about a thing, and we kind of want to try and have it happen at the same
Lord, so?
time-ish, so we have each other as, like, confidants and support, just in case. So I appreciate the honorable way you want to go about this. Your honor is part of why I love you so much.
No.
And I have always intended for you to eventually talk to my father, just as I eventually intend to make sure he knows that he has no say in the matter.
You say eventually, which just adds to the credence of the fact that you are such a wonderfully cautious person.
I really don't want him...
Pushing that off as far as you can.
I really don't want him to harm you in any way, and I think the more he experiences the world by leaving... I never expected him to leave Mirkwood, even if it is to go try and convince the Valar to come help a man who was horribly misguided in destroying and then saving the world.
Ugh,
The
that
fact
sounds like a
that
hard
he
conversation.
did means that he's taken an interest in happenings outside of Mirkwood, and that means he's made more progress than I expected in such a short amount of time. So I was kind of planning on bringing that up when we eventually went back to Mirkwood.
Ah. All right.
I just don't know how long that's going to take, because it did take us a couple of months to get there to begin with. There's always so much to do.
It's gonna take him some
Yep.
time, but it's something I gotta do.
I know.
Even though he's probably gonna try and kill me.
Well, he can try all he likes, but he will never succeed. Not while you're by my side.
Also, I'm really hard to kill.
Also, you're really hard to kill.
I mean, I feel like I can run away before I run out of hit points.
Oh.
I do have Thranduil tries to kill Gundyr on my list of things, but we'll get to it later.
What?
We'll get to it later. Oh, I love it. I'm glad that's on the list.
So, even if it's not for the purpose of creating a family, I would like to take some time to really explore, stares at Gundyr's body, us.
Sorry.
Let me roll an insight.
Should I roll deception against it?
To roll this. I'm
Coin?
picking up what you're putting down.
Now that we're out of significant immediate danger, I feel like I could relax enough to just really take some time. We'll set up our tent further away from camp than normal.
So, Willett and Kellyanne, the camp is really spread out tonight.
Oh, yeah.
You two are next to the fire, and the other tents are ways away.
So,
Do you think that worked?
Do I think
Thanks for
what?
keeping watch, guys.
Oh, well, like you started like awkward conversation, and it forces people to have these conversations regardless. Judging by the way those tents are spread out, I think it did. But anyways,
Awkward conversations? What?
yeah, nah, don't need to worry about it. But I say, like in a few months' time, well, maybe like less than a year, you and I will be aunts and uncles.
Oh. Right. I guess I hadn't thought about that yet.
You don't have like a lady hobbit at home?
No, I didn't. To be honest, I don't know where I'm going after this. I guess to the Lonely Mountain because there's a dragon there, but
Well, forever as long as it takes you to figure your shit out. It's probably gonna take me a while to figure my own shit out. So, if you want to
yeah,
go
but
to
you have family to go back to.
Oh my God, Kellyanne admitted it.
right. Eventually, yeah, I do. But what I realized is, sometimes there are bigger threats out there, and the bigger picture is something that should be seen more often. So if we take a detour to the Lily Mountain afterwards, you have my sword, my friend. And I've been meaning to say this for a while, but for threatening to kill you multiple times, I apologize.
That was a massive amount of character growth.
You're a good person.
Her heart grew 3 sizes.
Yeah, you are too.
Well, the night goes on and morning dawns and you continue your journey to Mount Doom.
Sure does dawn an awful lot around here.
Every
Once
day.
every 24 hours.
Every day.
I keep hoping that some new sun will rise.
Roll credits.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, no, we've still got way of stuff to do before although
The entire
perhaps
campaign was up
everything after this is the post-credit scene, just so everyone
Right.
knows. Anyways, or like that scene in Return of the King where it goes dark for a while and people walked out because they thought the movie was over.
Oops.
Right.
It's not.
Oops. That was only the first of 11 endings.
Yeah, they still had an
Yeah.
hour and a half of movie left. They didn't know it.
And they still didn't get to the
Wow.
actual ending of the book.
Right, so it's important to note that
Self-directed.
as this session is, of course, very much like the ending, that the important thing is that there was a huge battle in the ending. So, like, don't get complacent here. You just never know what could happen.
Wait a minute.
The scouring
Well,
of the
here
Shire,
I
right?
am putting my dice away. Maybe I
So
should.
who knows what your homelands are really like now? I mean,
Yep,
except
I
for
do.
the scholars
I know what
that
mine's
have
like.
news from afar, so they probably got a pretty good idea.
I was just at mine.
Mount Doom, though, you arrive at the garrison at the top, and it slips my mind a little bit, the name, although it's actually on the map in front of you there.
Moranon?
Yeah, Moranon. The fields of
Moranon.
Moranon in order to get into the gates of Mordor there. There's a big, huge fortress there that was clearly not built by the Gondorians, but now it flies the Gondorian flag kind of weakly up in the distance. And the gates are closed, though, so you do, in fact, have to, announce your presence, and eventually, someone will come out and go, "What? Who are you?"
My name is Gundyr, and I need to get through the gate.
You want to get in to Mordor?
Yes, Yes!
Bravely!
Like, why?
Reasons!
Yeah.
Urgent business.
We have
I'm-
an appointment with a
I'm not-
volcano.
I'm not gonna scream it out at the top of my lungs.
Oh,
Although you're doing a really good job.
they like talk. I mean, a couple elves there. Yeah, okay, sure. They totally like let you up there. They actually open like a side door though, not like the main gates, and kind of get you into the keep itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the guy, the commander in charge, a tall Dunedain who looks like he hasn't seen the light of day in years, or shaved recently.
Buddy.
Comes out.
Are you okay?
He's like patting down his uniform like he hasn't, like it still has wrinkles on it, like it was stored somewhere. How can I help you?
Just let us pass. You can stay back at your post. We just have a couple of things to do, and then we'll skedaddle on out.
It is the solemn vow of the men of Gondor that we will protect and watch upon the land of Mordor to make sure that no darkness comes. So I need to make sure you're not bringing darkness, but
You can totally come with us. I mean, like, we don't mind getting an escort. I'm actually very curious about the history of this land. You see, in Mirkwood, where I'm from, there's not a lot of books on this particular area for histories, and I'm hoping that I'm just gonna keep going as we
Are you-
smoothly.
are you doing we're just here to like write a book about it?
I am just asking him for the history of the place, and then I want to go see the volcano so I can make a proper account of this for the elves when I get back, which
yeah,
is
okay, you're
a
writing a book
legitimate
about it.
interest.
Yep,
Maybe.
I'm writing a book about it.
It's not necessarily a ruse. I am actually going to write a book about all of the shenanigans that have happened. I
Okay,
am a
somewhere.
historian, after all.
And you can call it The
Sure.
Guy with the Rings.
Gundyr of
Is there
the
another
10
character that wrote a book
fingers.
in this?
Gundyr of the 10 Fingers.
To... well, it seems like he's more than happy to do anything that, because he's been doing nothing for a long time. So he's like, sure,
Sure.
we'll send a patrol to the mountain. You can come along.
Yay!
Dope.
I kind of want to do that thing where we make the GM give us a name of an NPC that probably doesn't actually matter.
Yes. I mean, this is going to be in the book.
It
Obviously. So we need a name.
Detailed account.
It's gonna be in the book, obviously.
This is Bob. He watches the games.
This is
And-
Bob. He watches
he's-
the gates.
Bob, son of Bob,
Bob,
Gate
son
watcher.
of Bob.
watcher of the gates.
Fourth generation Bob, who's been watching over the gates since his great grandfather's time.
His name is Stornd.
Fern.
Fern.
Stornd.
Stormed.
If you remove the R, it's something else.
Ah, got it. Okay. Got it.
I mean, technically, it's probably pronounced Storned.
Storned. Storned.
You travel with him through the land of Mordor. The land of Mordor really sucks.
You guys,
It's full of
this place
ash,
sucks.
and you have been through some bad places, but this is a bad, bad place.
I would hate to be tired and desperate and trying to cross this at the same time. Sounds like it would be extra exhausting.
No, what would be really exhausting is if you had to carry somebody up this mountain.
Well, not for you. I think you could do it.
Oh yeah, I could do it. But I mean, could you imagine like Willard doing that?
No, on top of that, probably very hungry.
Maybe put some food at the top.
maybe install a snack bar.
Like, congratulations, you made it this far. Here's a little candy bar.
So,
Yeah, here's
Will
a
had
gift
said he
to
didn't
you.
know what he was going to do, but he's now going to open the Mount Doom restaurant.
Here's a gift shop and snack bar, Mountain Doom.
I
Got a
keep-
commanding
I got with
view.
this crappy T-shirt.
I mean, it's horrific and like ashen hellscape, but like where else are you going to find a horrific ashen hellscape? I mean, it's
Yeah.
unique. It's one of the only ones in Middle Earth.
Yep.
It's got the best geothermal heating you'll ever meet.
Yep.
Alternative sourcing.
I super enjoy the fact that all these rocks are jagged sharp and you can't sleep anywhere comfortably.
But to make a long story short, or whatever we're doing, which is not that, you get up Mount Doom after a couple of days travel with the Dunedain, who, they've been around here before. They know their way, and they brought supplies and the whole lot. And there are a couple of places to get water refills and the like. And they generally don't go up the mountain, but some of them travel up there with you. There is a road that's been carved out. It doesn't look like it's been particularly well maintained over the last Third Age. So it's kind of a rocky thing, and you do end up walking kind of the second half of the mountain trip, putting those horses aside. But there it is at the top. It's volcanic activity still pretty standard over thousands of years, and it is continuing to occasionally flow lava, and there's a big huge pit that is the hottest place you've ever been. And yep, this is it. Don't like to spend much time here, says your intrepid Dunedain guide.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Gundyr.
Okay, so...
Can we make sure that we have at least the ones that we do have left
Yeah.
before we just toss it in? Yeah.
I'll open the bag, make sure that the 6 rings are in there,
Looks like 6.
Okay.
and then I'll go over to the edge, and then I'll just stand there for a while looking at these rings.
I mean, since you're doing the pause, make your corruption shadow.
Can I go up and smack it out of his hand?
We'll get there if we need to.
We'll get there if we need to.
You push him into the lava, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, I'm not gonna push him into the lava. I'm just gonna smack it out of his hand.
It's pretty good.
Like-
It's always a
I
good
got
idea
a 20, not natural.
to give the most physically strong and intimidating member of the party the rings.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
I
that
trust
if you did have to wrestle him down and take them away, it'd be extra hard.
Right.
That's true. We should have just given it to Estriel.
I'm not
We
even
can-
gonna open that can of worms.
So with a 20, I will quote chat. Gundyr tosses the 5 rings into the cracks of doom.
Wait a minute.
To the cracks of doom.
Can we see it melt? before
It's
our
in a
eyes?
bag.
Okay, fire, then melt.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Gundyr kind of collapses a little bit.
oh. Well, can't have that.
Are you serious about the 5 part?
I'm gonna pull him back.
I was waiting for somebody to catch on to that one.
Just to be clear, how many rings did we see?
He
I
said
mean,
six.
It was
they were in a bag.
It was in a bag.
They were in a bag. I
It's
trust
fine.
Gundyr wholeheartedly, so
Okay,
I'm going
but did
to give
we
him...
see him grab one out and toss the bag?
I don't think so, Gundyr. You did not grab a ring out and.
No, I did not.
Okay.
See, trusting people. Jesus, what's wrong with you guys? We're supposed to be heroes. Good.
Cautious hero.
So was Isildur.
Well, he was human, so.
What?
and, I'm,
Wait.
and I'm way more of a man than he was.
Clearly.
I'm gonna give Gundyr a very heartfelt hug because this is done and it's over, and we can now move on.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah, we
big explosions or anything. Although I guess I mean, there were 6 of them ish, right? So the mountain does kind of rumble a
Wait,
little bit
ish?
now.
Okay, hold on. Let's make sure. Can we get a specific?
Oh no, I love this.
I don't like this ish.
specific.
And
This is
is
great.
it 5 or 6?
It's 6-ish rings. Look, you say potato, and
five
I
a moment
say
ago.
5 rings, 6 rings. What's the difference?
Now you said 6-ish.
I think
It
the
better be
difference is
6.
Did
one
the
ish
7th one go
ring
in? Did we
down
just
here.
not? It was in the bag the whole time. We just counted 6,
Hopes and dreams,
5.
Willard. Hopes and dreams.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine.
Just wanna.
The deed is done.
I
We are
don't
free
want
to
to have
go.
to come. I don't want to have to come back here to pick up a ring off the ground that we accidentally left here. You know.
You don't see any rings on the ground. You don't see any on Gundyr. So unless Gundyr's really good at hiding them, you're probably good.
So did we see it like set on fire and then start melting into the lava? That's my main thing. It's like I'm watching this sucker all the way down.
I thought there'd be more to it.
Oh my god, you guys are dissecting this way too much.
I thought there'd be like
we
a,
don't
a
break.
moment, like it would erupt or something. But I guess it just splooshes in, and that's the
I
end.
mean, I guess like more explodey things. I don't know, but it's great. So I'm watching this thing all the way down into the lava.
Yeah, the bag totally hit the lava, and then you lost track of it because it's bright.
Good. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna hug Gundyr, sigh very heavily, bury my face in his neck for a second as a recover from the fact that we have now succeeded in destroying 6 rings of power, which, to my knowledge, no one else has managed to do. I'm gonna take his hand, and we're gonna hopefully walk out of this volcano unmolested.
Your guide goes, what was in the bag?
Garbage.
Rings of power.
6 of them.
Do you know what we
Is
could have
that
done
6
with those?
garbage? Or 6 rings of power?
Oh.
6 rings of garbage.
Huh.
Do you know what we could have done with
That
those?
probably
Exactly.
destroyed them then?
Yep.
Oh.
That's the hope.
They're gone.
At the very least, they're really hard to get out of there. So
Also that.
Yeah, if you want to go swimming in lava, try and go find them.
theoretically, like re-piece together all the atoms that comprise the ring, put it back together somehow. But
I feel like that's out of Middle Earth's wheelhouse.
not really. But yeah.
I don't know, there's some
You
pretty
know-
good elven smiths out there.
I don't think they're
Not
that
that
good.
You know, Nestril, I think that if we can do that to those 6 rings, what's 2 half-elf kids?
Are you insinuating we throw the kids in the lava?
No, I'm just saying, compared to destroying
boy.
6 rings of power, like
Phrasing.
you 2 and us 2 having kids,
Pretty
is like we got this.
Well, and at the end of the day, regardless of what powerful elves may say, it is our choice whether or not we have children with the people that we love.
Mm-hmm.
Wheelhead high fives you.
Yay!
Are you
Like-
saying that we're gonna be aunties and uncles soon?
I mean, that entirely depends. Oh, I probably shouldn't get into anatomy right now.
You don't really need to. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm
What?
just gonna say what Nestor should have said. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Great.
But speaking of love, Kellyan, you once
Just
told me of
Fucking
someone you
anti-Callian
love.
over here.
Perhaps
Yeah.
it's time you reconnected with all of the people that you were forcibly taken
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, all in due good time. There's a couple of other bad things that maybe we should, while I'm on my way back, finish up.
Well, Storned says I don't know where you're headed next, but you should probably, have you seen the tree? To be fair, actually, you guys are on the top of Mount Doom, right? You can probably
That's
see
it.
it from here. There's a huge light coming from the White Mountains to the west.
Yeah, let's go
And
there.
you can, and it's pretty much on the way, really.
It's on the to-do list, okay?
Well, I guess we are playing, what's the word? Tourist?
Yeah, we'll head out through Minas Morgul and up to Minas Tirith, and then from there we can head somewhere else.
I mean, there's good news as you travel that direction. That's not called Minas Morgul because the Witch King never took it over. It's Minas Ithil, the Tower of the Moon, and you've been here before. You look up with fond memories at the endless staircase that you had to drag a live giant spider down as you passed through there, and I'm sure those are fond memories.
I giggle. We could go kill Shelob now.
I mean, add that to the to-do list.
Those tunnels add a different element to such a combat.
That's right, you should just smoke them out.
You know, we do know a dragon that could just breathe into that tunnel, and I'm pretty sure we'd be good.
We know of a dragon, we just don't know the dragon well enough to be like, hey, buddy, you can go in, kill a couple of spiders for no good reason whatsoever out of your way.
Look, man, give me 1,000 years.
I mean,
What?
I don't think any of us have that. I can live to a pretty old age, but not that old.
Oh, well, don't worry about it then.
When it involves you, I do.
And in our second roll credits scene, as you cross the river, you come to Minas Anor, the city of the sun, that now has a tree so bright above it that it is constantly put in the equivalent of daylight, as it is for here in Gondor that has so long sat next to the shadow, that they have their own sun, their own light that now shines and will shine for ages in front of them. One might say a new sun that has been here.
Wow.
I mean, unless Ungoliant gets wind of it.
She's taking a nap.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. It's a small hole into her lair.
All right.
Probably shouldn't tell anybody about that.
No, that's one of those things that won't be told at all. Even in books. Give Nestriel a look.
Or poems.
Oh,
I
touche.
mean, it's not like we'll be able to stop her if
Touche,
she does it in 150 years.
I mean, I'll still be around.
200 years.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys are so suspicious of me.
No, not suspicious. I was just poking fun at you.
Well, I don't think we actually have anything particular you guys need to do in Minas Tirith, other than
I
see
think
the
we're just
thing.
sightseeing.
Gonna go oogle a tree, say hi to a wizard,
It
get
is
a
pretty
lot of
amazing.
spiders, talk
Wait,
to a
which
guard
was?
about
Oh, that was
doing
right.
some murdering like everybody
It
does.
glows like the mushroom.
Does it glow like a mushroom?
Oh, should we go tell Saruman that we just destroyed 6 rings of power?
It does actually glow kind of like a mushroom, yeah.
I think we should also tell whoever we can about I'm assuming we told people about what's in the crags of, that big huge crack, right? The mushrooms growing.
Are you sure we want to? If somebody ate those, it would either kill them or grant them an incredible amount of power.
Well, I mean, what else are we gonna do?
Get
I
a
mean-
Be
backhoe.
destroyed.
If the Ents stop getting the supplies they need to make the mushrooms, they will eventually die. And then the Ents will be forced to go back to what they were doing, which was shepherding trees. Hopefully.
Looking for the Antwives.
Mm-hmm. Looking for the Antwives.
Rumor was they moved closer to where it is now called Hobbiton.
Well, Saruman is not in Gondor at the moment. If you ask about him, they say that he has gone north, and you look for him in Lorien.
Oh.
Well, that's probably on the list
Stop
of stops.
by.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually the closest thing to us that we might wish to go to.
Would you guys...
To be fair, it's equidistant to Dol Guldur.
I was just gonna... I mean,
Why would we go there?
Because it's very important to me to make sure that Dogolder has actually fallen silent now that we've taken care of the necromancer, and potentially the other necromancer has lost his motivation to poison the place that I call home. But we don't have to if you guys don't.
We're gonna
yeah,
No, we can
we
we're gonna
got it.
hire a wrecking crew. We're gonna take down the structure there, and Estriel and Gundy are gonna build their family home right there.
Nope, not right there.
Don't
No,
go there.
nope. No niece and or nephew of mine is going to be living there.
No niece and or nephew of mine's gonna be living in Dogo.
Is Nestriel Jenny?
What?
Forrest Gump.
Oh.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. That they keep right. The bulldozer, yeah. Yep.
I thought you were actually making that reference.
No.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
But it's a good reference though. Good one.
I'll look that up later.
That's her childhood home though that gets wrecked. Cool. Be like wrecking Mirkwood, It's different.
Anyways.
Trip north to Lorien/Dogulder. I mean, they're almost the same place.
Dolgodor is fine.
Yep.
Just to see.
So as you head north, basically you decide that you'll hang out on the east side of the river so you can get a good look at what's going on in Mirkwood and the hill of Dolgulder. And as you head that direction, you can definitely see that it looks, pretty much like you remember it looking. There still looks to be darkness and corruption in the woods themselves. The hill, as you get closer to Dolgulder and stand kind of in that valley between Lorien and Dolgulder and look up at it, you see that it is a dark hill as usual, but it does look like whatever structure was on the top of it has crumbled or something. It looks like there's nothing but runes on the top of the hill.
Oh, phew.
Nothing but roots.
Don't spot any spiders or anything around these forests, do we?
How hard do you look?
I mean,
I'd
not
say
that-
pretty hard.
You totally are able to find a couple of spiders in the woods down here when you look around and you've finished them off. But they mostly scurry, and the wood is still dark, but Nestriel, you definitely have kind of like the oppressive darkness seems less. Like it's not like the wood is corrupted, but not like there's a dark will working against you kind of thing.
Good.
Which has been the case in the past.
A dark
Fantastic.
Willid? What? I thought we got rid of that once.
no.
That's one of my cliffhangers when Dark Willid comes back, yeah.
Ah, shit.
Oh, no.
Well, actually, it turns out Willid was the Dark Willid all along.
Whoa!
That's where the
Where
other
do you
ring
think
went.
these rings have gone going?
Oh, shit.
No, that's actually solid. I should have done that. No, never mind. Okay, no. No.
Well,
Scratch what we said over the last 10 sessions.
with the oppressive darkness gone and Legolas in charge, and hopefully my father more involved in the goings-ons, we should be able to clear southern Mirkwood and get it back to just being known as the Greenwood. Hopefully.
So what is your plan then? Are you going to stay here or are you going to finish coming with us?
I'll finish the journey with you. You are, after all, like family to me. I can't very well leave you now.
That's right, you can't.
So it's a hop, skip, and jump across a really big river.
Is there a bridge?
I'm sort of assuming that you find a way across. We're not going to worry about it. You're experienced wilderness travelers.
Apparently,
I throw everyone across the river.
Even Dustcart.
Even the horse.
Yay!
No, you do not have any trouble getting from here to Lorien. As you travel that direction. And of course, as a company, you are welcome in Lorien, having been there multiple times and having both Allred and Gliriel with you. You are led deep into Lorien once again to Karis Gladhorn and the wonderful city of the elves.
So Gliriel,
This is it. This is where we get a stern talking to by the Lady of Lorien.
I know that my people offered us a longhouse out in the plains, but I guess I always pictured us settling here, if that's an option.
This is my home, and I have most of my the last thousands of years. This is where I have been, and it has been of interest to find this on this journey, for I have seen things new and different, and things that I never expected to see far in the east. But for a place to call home, this still is home.
I very much want this to be my home as well.
I will certainly support you to Galadriel and Celeborn.
Should we? Well, I don't even know if they're even here right now. Perhaps we should try to get an audience with Galadriel, if nothing else, to tell them about the rings.
Well, good news on that front. Coming in, there's clearly that the lady wishes to see you.
Coming in hot.
And as a side note,
To the devil.
I mean all of you, but
Yep. Here it comes.
And as a side note, the Lord of Lorien also wants to see you too. But
Yes. We
He's
always
important.
forget that Galadriel has a husband.
He's totally important.
He is super important in the fact that nobody knows his name.
somewhere
That's
out there, there's
definitely
the
not
erasure of
Celeborn.
Celeborn movement, but we just gotta let it go.
You gotta let it go. You can't. You're living in the
Only-
shadow of somebody.
Only one person can wear the elven pants in the relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Galadriel.
Oh, hands down.
Galadriel.
You let up the tree, and you ride.
Galadriel wears the pants in all relationships.
She's kind of frightening. When you get up there, there appears to be a large group of wise people. You might recognize Saruman and Gandalf and Galadriel and Radagast and Palando, you're gonna guess? Some bearded guy in a dark purple robe thing.
And Celeborn?
Wow.
Yeah, no Celeborn. Sorry.
No Elrond?
No Elrond, no.
Hi, guys.
I nudged Nestriel forward.
Well, we've been to the east, and we met Alatar, very purposefully looking at the dude in purple, who was ill-advised in a plan to try and get the Valar to come here after unleashing a very specific spider on the tree that is currently in Gondor. But we have convinced him otherwise, and he is currently in the east, as is a second Tree of Light. In addition, we have managed to destroy 6 rings of power, the ones that the wraiths of the Witch King used to have. We did have 7, but one has found itself lost along the way. We've been unable to track it down. But the immediate threat has been absolved.
Galadriel stands up and says, most of what you talk about is already known to us. For Alatar has told his story to Palando, and Palando has told it to us. We have had conversations about the darkness, about what has happened in Mirkwood, and we are making reparations as best we
As
can.
in helping us cleanse the wood?
There is much work that needs to be done to the woods of Mirkwood, much of which, as with the nature of trees and of the world, is irreparable. But there is also the opportunity for much new growth, and knowing the source and knowing the cause of all of this will help Radagast and I to no end in restoring as much as we can to the south of the forest.
If I may, great lady, I would like to be as involved as possible. The south of Mirkwood has always been the home of my ancestors, the house that I hail from. It would mean a lot to me if you would allow me to assist you in any way I am able.
It is certain that we will need many hands in the task ahead.
Thank you.
It is good that your journey has come to some degree of conclusion, and you are welcome here again for the time that you will spend. If there is anything else that you wish to know from us that are wise and us that are less wise, you can now feel free to ask.
What on earth would I ask this council?
I mean, I know one question you could ask.
What can I do to make sure
I'm
that
curious!
the evil remains at bay for a longer period of time?
Well, certainly being vigilant, it does appear that some of the Nazgul are still abroad. At least 2 were sighted in the north. And despite the gains that we have made, it is clear that someone like the Witch King can gather the darkness to himself, given time and energy. It is best that we all remain vigilant and watchful against such things. Also, pipes in Saruman, even with some of the rings destroyed, there are still those that have the taint of Sauron upon them. Some of the dwarves still wield those rings, and now we see the shadow potentially growing amongst them. There is also still the possibility that if Sauron held his essence within the One Ring, that we might see some of him again. Although so far, we have been lucky to see that the destruction that occurred on the slopes of Mount Doom during the last alliance of elves and men seems to have kept his spirit away.
For now.
Polando turns to Saruman and gives him like kind of a concerned look, like he's about to say something, but then he doesn't. And there is that.
Gundyr, what was your question?
Nothing in particular. It's fine. I wasn't wondering about anything.
Yeah, you were doing.
I elbow Gundyr.
I wasn't asking. I was curious.
Oh, come on! You can talk to like practically anybody, and all of a sudden you like have no words.
Not these people. They're important.
Drop your balls.
Saruman stands up. He is not wrong. We have much to talk about. And idle chatter is not we need. There are plenty for idle chatter below.
Right. All right.
Don't let him push you around like that.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, great. That's all I need to know. Mine was trivial. It was trivial at best.
Would it be better if I asked for you?
I don't know if you were going to ask the same. I mean, I technically had 2 questions. Well, one of them
I
stupid,
bet you
so
these
it doesn't
people are
matter.
pretty good at trivia, so.
I bet you these people are pretty good at trivia. What if there was a?
One of their pursuits?
What if theoretically some people had some half elves?
Ah.
I'm glad Allred pressed him to ask this question.
We just found some
I'm
half elves
not.
playing around.
Look, I know you're gonna be mad at me. I understand. I understand you're mad, but I had to ask.
The fate of elves is woven into Middle Earth. We are on a path, and we choose to find that, or we have no choice but to follow that fate. Mortals, they are free from that path. They have not been tied to the world like us. Those that walk between those must make that choice. And it is a choice that inevitably has consequences to the fate of the world. It is a choice that is made, and it is not just a person's choice, as a man, a mortal, would do, or even the basic choices of elves, but rather it is one that changes the world itself significantly. So if such a thing were to happen, one would need to know that they are changing the fate of the world itself.
Perhaps the fate of the world needs changing, if recent events are anything to go by.
It is perhaps that the fate may be one of sunlight and the stars in an open field, or the fate may be one of ash and doom.
Well, I think it's how you bring them up, really.
Enter the nature versus nurture debate. Go!
And then nature versus nurture debate. Here we go.
What does it mean that there are 2 trees of light in the world again?
It is a wonderful thing that we were able to bring beauty back, and it is our hope that it will remain in such a way that the darkness will cower before the light rather than be drawn to it to snuff it out. Either way, it shall illuminate the shadows that still exist in this world, and we will have to face them.
What of this dragon near the Lonely Mountain?
Dragons are almost forces of nature. They are creations of Morgoth, but ones that have their own will now. We will see.
Is it worth pursuing them?
Certainly, the world is a better place with less dragons. But do not meddle, or do not take a dragon lightly, for those creatures have lived for ages and have seen the battles that would have destroyed many. And they are always more than you think.
Has anyone ever befriended a dragon?
No.
Everybody looks at Nestriel.
Come on! Think of the things they know, the things they could share.
Except they don't share.
And what big teeth they have would be the last thing you say before it eats you.
From one thing I understand is dragons are creatures of greed that rival even a man.
There's a story of a hobbit befriending a dragon, but it's just a story. It's old. It's probably a myth or a legend.
Legends or lessons.
It was
That's right, Nestriel. What are the legends of dragons?
He lived down by the sea.
Well,
imaginary dragon.
Thank you for your return, and you are welcome here. There will be much conversation and much to do as the time passes. And in fact, as you get excused from the council, they actually don't excuse Nestriel. They let her stay for the council, including
Hey!
her in kind of the a council of the wise.
Yeah, this is
Rude.
what. Yeah, this is what she's
Yes!
always wanted.
Rude.
I'm so touched.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you be happy. I'll be outside.
Should we go see if we can get another plate for Willard?
Get another plate for Willard.
Was there?
I think he needs more.
Just-
I think he needs silverware to go with his plates.
Or maybe a cup. Do you have a cup?
Yeah, like a fancy cup made of wood or something.
You could just ask him what he wants.
I mean, cups just aren't. I would take one. It's just more useful to have the water skin.
Yeah.
Or wine
So
skin.
then, plate,
Road.
fork, knife.
Well, I mean, if we were in the Dwarven lands, I'd recommend getting a flask like this one.
Is that what you got from when you drank those dwarves under the table?
I sure did.
Looks a bit bent.
I got a frying pan, a book.
I mean, I got
Plates.
I got hit in the chest, and that was where my flask was. So yeah, it's a little bent, but still holds liquor.
A little?
Okay.
Like,
So
So it's an
Alred,
L-shaped flask.
are you? Gliriel is going to request that you can stay in Lorien, right?
Yeah.
You will technically have a conversation with Celeborn and Gladriel about that.
That's not
separately
intimidating at all.
occurs later.
Mhm.
The two of you are brought up again to the top of the tree at a time when there's just the two there. And Gliriel does her I wish you could stay, and talks about the things that have happened, including the wedding.
The surprise wedding.
Oh, that's where the other ring went. You guys.
Huh, shit!
Used
No
as
one
a
was going to
wedding
suspect
break.
Alred for stealing things. Let's just be fair. here.
Right.
And no one even thought about Gliriel. So
That's true.
that's still
I
on
mean-
the table.
Nobody
man.
considered Gundyr would take a ring until we got to the mountain.
mm-hmm.
But Gladriel will stand up, and as she stands, and of course it's Gladriel, right? So she can look right deep into your soul and all of that fun stuff.
God.
And you can hear
That's
her voice in your head that says, "You have already heard my words about the dangers of fate, but it is your choice."
I mean, I nod solemnly, trying not to appear intimidated.
But you are, if you wish to stay, you are welcome. Champion of Lorien.
That would be among the greatest honors of my life. Thank you.
So that gets announced or whatever. That Alred. I don't know how you want. Do you want to tell people? What do you want to say? I mean, I guess this boils down to: are you gonna continue with them on this journey for a little bit, or are you and Gliriel staying here for now?
I think we need to see this journey through with our friends, and then when it's done, we can return.
Okay, and so that journey would be to where? Anyways, just
That's a
journey
good question.
home.
Guess where we're
Journey
going?
home, right?
That is a good question. Where are we going?
I mean, you've
I
been
think-
to Mount Doom, you've been to Dol Guldur, so
I think we should go to the north and check up on everything that's happened up there, make sure they're in a good spot, and then
disband from there.
that is the last point of the most contention. We could stop by Moria, but I think we all know that whatever
I
happens
don't
there
really want to go to Moria.
don't have the best track record of encounters in Moria.
It progressively gets worse every time we go there.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
Okay, so I'm getting that Nestriel wants lots of backup for the Thranduil Legolas conversation, so she'd rather everyone came along.
Of this group, I'm good. I think me and Gundyr got it. Maybe Willard? Alred did okay.
What? What about me?
Maybe?
I mean, because I guess when you say north, are you talking about
I mean,
like the
I need
Northlands
to
or the
tell
Woodland
you.
Realm?
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean the land of the Dunedain, where all of the warring happened.
So basically up against the Witch King's realm kind of stuff.
Yep. I want to go make sure that that's all good.
Okay. Well then, traveling. So you'd want to travel across the Misty Mountains
Mm-hmm.
and head to Arthedain next.
Yes.
Okay. So
Maybe chat with our eagle buddies on the way.
we'll head that direction. It takes some time, of course, as you travel there. And you come very close to the Shire, but not actually there yet, as you head up to the north.
So we didn't stop at the Shire?
I mean, I suspect you will on the way back or something. It's out of the way at this stage. I mean, and nothing else. I don't know. Assume Willet's going back there or something, but I could be wrong with that too. Okay, so we're headed north. And you come to Fornost. Now, as a side note, Kelly, and I actually sort of, one of the things that's been interesting for this whole journey that I haven't quite focused on is that people have been remembering you the whole way back. I mean, the elves remembered you when you returned from the realm of the dead. When the Eothrame, some of them recognized you.
It is very weird. I'm like ecstatic.
Elves in Lorien, that sort of thing. And so now you're approaching Arthedain, and you get to the gates of Fornost. What do you do?
All right, be cool. Be cool. Like, be cool. Just like,
You've got this.
Yep. And I grab Nestriel's hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I look at everybody else and it's like, all right. I've never been more terrified of going home.
I know the feeling, but you can do this.
All right. Well, shall we go, guys?
Come on, we face down a fucking Helgarog. We can do this.
He has a point.
There's a difference between facing down something that you can fight, something that is destroyable, versus facing down the people that you love and fearing something.
Like, what if, like, they're, like, the exception to the rule? What if they don't remember me?
Well, I'm pretty sure they will. So,
That's deep, Nestriel.
get in there. Get in.
Come on, guys. And I'm gonna, like, kind of, like, have you guys, like, start going forward. Now I'm gonna be, like, in the middle.
Yep.
Oh my god, alright.
I will pull Kellyanne along.
Hey, what's the name of Kellyanne's house?
I changed my
Amarion.
name. Oh,
What's that?
Marion.
I'm just gonna, as we approach the gates, I'm just gonna shout like,
Oh my god, you're so
"Here
embarrassing.
approaches Kellyanne of House Marion."
She
I punched
returns.
you in the shoulder.
She
She
returns
returns from
after
the
a
east.
great journey. A hero among
Oh,
men
God.
and elves.
Yeah.
Can you cut that? I'm not here.
Mhm. One of the greatest warriors I've ever fought beside.
I'm gonna punch you all.
So the gates are already open, and as you like do that, there is a little bit of like a rustle among the guards that are there, and it looks like some messengers run off
Good. See?
as they
You guys are so
welcome you to Fornost.
Family is always embarrassing, Kellyanne.
Yeah.
Let's go meet yours.
Oh God. I'm almost wondering if we can go back to that Lonely Mountain. That dragon sounds a lot better right now.
Too late.
So you're about halfway towards the keep when two like horses are sprinting your general direction. They have your house's colors on the horse. There's a lady on one and a guy on the other one. All of you recognize the guy because that's her brother.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think most of you recognize the woman. She looks older.
Is that my sister or my mom?
It's your mom.
Mom!
And she, like, they both, like, leap off the horse as they get there and run through the crowd of you. And your mom actually manages to beat your brother to you. And she's like in tears, and she just embraces you as he also like double embraces you, and she's saying, "Kelliot, I had thought the Witch King had killed you."
In some sense, he did. God, it's so good to see you. I mean, actually, see you, and God, I missed you so much.
There must be quite a story here. She chokes out through the tears.
Oh,
It is
gosh.
not only that you returned from the death, but with this crowd, it is quite a set of companions you have.
These are my friends. They were my family while I was away.
And just to be clear, just to be clear for everyone from her perspective, right? I know Allred's like a horseman and Gundir's like this wild man, but they're wearing like dwarven armor that's shiny. They look really impressive, right? They're not. This does not look like some, we crawled out of the wilderness kind of folks, even though you have in fact just crawled out of the wilderness.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kelly, and continue.
This is Allred, and he is the champion of Lorien. He's a great fighter, and soon to hopefully be a great dad. And this is his wife, Glariel. She is the best archer that this world has ever seen. And then my friend Willard, he is the best burglar you will never see, because he's just that good. He has a great sense of humor, and he likes to collect.
Burglar.
She meant bugler. Bugler.
That was it.
I think
And
he
then this-
prefers treasure hunter.
Boy, he can play that bugle.
Bugle. Anyways, R's are not my strong suit. And then this is Nesriel, and she's my sister. She's one of the smartest people I've ever met. Arguably one of the smartest elves there will ever be. She has so much that she can offer the world, and it's going to be amazing to see
She
what
was
she can
just
do.
on the council.
Yeah, she was part of the Council of the Wise.
Is it
At
that?
such a young age.
It's just a guest.
That doesn't matter.
And this is her significant other, Gundir. As you can tell, he's a pretty big deal. He's a great fighter, although, arguably, like
Well,
decent.
actually, Kelly, and we have met all of them before.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Well,
It was
That's her
nice
brother, at
for you
least.
to tuck us up like we earlier did.
Yeah.
You know, they let you go through all of them there.
Do they remember me asking them if they even remembered? Do they have a memory of
Oh
not
yeah.
remembering?
That had to be an awkward memory to pop into their head.
I was like, do you have another daughter? No.
No.
Ugh.
Uh,
I mean, do you ask them that, Willard, or
Not right now. Not now.
maybe later?
Maybe one of
Good
the
call.
best things about moms is, or dads, family is the home cooked meals, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
When's dinner?
Well, you are all welcome to our house for sure. Come. And you get to stay at the Marion house and meet Kellyan's sister. Kellyan's father is away at the moment. He's in the north helping clean up stuff.
How has the northern campaign gone? We have heard it is met with success.
The success has been beyond what we would have thought. The Witch King seems to have collapsed, and new allies came from underneath the ground, the dwarves. Our only concern lies is that this new dwarven king who has deposed the Witch King seems to perhaps have a little bit of shadow himself.
Oh, he does.
For sure. The council is keeping an eye on him, as are we.
But for now, our kingdom is looking forward to a summer and a season without the imminent threat of the Witch King and his dark forces.
How is the king doing? Did he end up dying?
No.
God, I hope not. Okay.
Good. No succession crisis. Huzzah!
Great.
I guess he is the son, the second.
He does.
he's
He
got a
does
son.
have a son.
There's an heir. Never mind.
I mean, in theory,
Hey,
there
that got
shouldn't be a
married?
succession crisis, but yeah, no, the king is alive and handling things, and things seem pretty good in Arthedain.
And what about what about his son? How's he doing?
Well, he still travels wildly and perhaps dabbles in lore he should not, but we're keeping an eye on him.
Nudge, nudge.
And as a side note, so there's the scene here, right? You are all sitting around the table, and Kellyan is surrounded by her family, and there is the food that has been prepared, and Kellyan is sitting between her brother and her sister, with her mom at the head of the table, and
Willett is getting drunk.
What?
Good timing.
so,
Like pretty damn drunk.
and they're
add
asking and
some
telling
levity.
all of the stories
But
too.
continue.
No, they're just they're asking about all the stories, and the stories are getting told. So Willie getting drunk might be very helpful to some of that
Yeah.
storytelling.
And I can is there I have is it perform? I have performance. So I can regale the story and like I'm in my element and I'm poking fun of my siblings and I'm being very this the most relaxed you've ever seen me. So I'm telling all these stories. Oh, and this one time Nestriel tripped over a branch and
You said you wouldn't tell anyone that. Gundir, close your ears.
Was this about industrial tripping? Where was
Oh.
I?
Oh my goodness.
you guys were running ahead and she was in the back and she was too busy looking at what was it, a butterfly or something?
There
Anyways,
was a rare plant, okay?
Sure wasn't she was looking at Gundir?
No,
You
I
know,
all know
now-
him all the time.
yeah, I mean, I think she's used to ogling him and walking where she was going, but I mean, this, whatever it was, caught her attention. And then she tripped. It was really funny because the stick was that big.
So much for that elven agility.
Well, maybe a little bit.
Galerio gives Allred a knowing look. Well, and the evening goes on for a while there with that storytelling.
Who's sitting right around Willett? Who's sitting
Oh,
right
who,
around?
who do you want?
Some
Good call.
NPCs. I don't know.
No.
Some of.
We'll go with Willett. We'll go with Kellyan's mom.
Yeah, perfect. I get. Hey. Okay, so I'm working on the. I got this tune. I got lyrics. I don't know what the tune to put it to. Do you listen? Oh, hey, let's conspire. And I like breathe heavily, like lean on the table, fall off in between like the gap between like the bench and the table, kind of like fall underneath, slowly clamber back up. Hey, okay. It goes something like this. You'll be proud. You'll be proud. Your daughter wrote it.
Oh no! No, I'm gonna like try to leap across the table to stop him. It was like, that's not finished.
You're stuck between your two siblings, so your odds of getting across the table are nil.
I'm gonna try though.
Yeah, I know.
I stole them.
No.
High above the mountainous night,
No!
rest in dread. His scythe gleaming in ominous delight, as below are the tents of soldiers soon to be dead. The dawn breaks, the crow caws, the gasping breath of the last man draws. Come hither, whispers looming death, bony hands creaking like rusted saws. With a whispered cloak in the breeze, the stench of death surrounds like a fetid disease. Its looming figure of the last kneeled man, death ready to claim, but what he forgot is the man is Dunedain. And I get up on the table. No, the man doth ferociously claim, today is not the day to feed the crows. I will survive for Arthedain. Stealing his gaze, he stumbles to his feet, matches eye to empty socket. He draws his sword. 'Tis not my day to claim defeat. Go now, death. You heed my word. Sword glowing in a natural light. The first king of Arthedain shows his might. Darkest of night, the loneliest heart, a being without home, a braver being, one who continues when most could not, looks to the horizon of distant home. Perhaps one day when you atone. Until then, we can be your home. Broken heart and wounded pride, left festering, a gaping wound, healing words from one who has forgotten, a silent pledge. The good of all must come first. This silent edict, the lonely warrior cries, for the good of all.
There's applause from the siblings.
Yeah.
Looking
I don't
a
understand
little
your
red
reaction.
there, Kellyann.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Kelly, did you think that was going to be
clearly-
embarrassing? That was great.
William has clearly had it too much.
She's been holding back this whole time.
I mean, we knew it. I mean, I knew you were old, but
That I was old? What?
no, you were holding back. That you were quite the scald.
Well, I do wonder how old you are.
I used to. Not old.
And
But
then,
that
like,
doesn't matter.
Willa just kind of lays down on the table and passes out.
He's lucky
With, like,
he's
some
passed out.
food.
Put Willett in the recovery position.
I look
So how
forward
about that
to many
weather?
more, Kellyann. It is your second lease on life. You should embrace it.
Which is why I think perhaps though it's nice to be here, that there's still some troubles elsewhere that I should be going towards instead of away.
Such as?
I don't know, but I just feel that though I'm here with my family and finally have what I want, that maybe there's more I can do. I just have no idea what.
We have missed. This is your mother. We have missed you for some years, so I think you owe us at least 1 year of hanging out here and being at home before you go find whatever it is next that needs taken care of. Your father needs to see you again, and I think that we have much catching up to do. I suspect the king may even admire some of the deeds that you have done.
Your mother is very wise. You should heed her.
I agree.
This is not the end for us, though.
No, of course not.
Very well. At least 1 year.
Good. I was hoping I wouldn't have to tie you up in the basement or something.
We'll tie you up and forget about you. Ha ha.
Oh God, no! Too soon.
He just raises his drunken head. Ah.
So with that meal, and that actually goes late into the night. I mean, Willard passing out on the table. It's way into the night before that the homecoming ends, and you all find a comfortable bed. But you spend some time in Arthedain. There is some conversations with the king and the like, because you have talked to him before and assisted in such things as saving his life from Nazgul and the like. So the stories are told. But a time comes when the rest of you are ready to leave. This is our first of our partings then, as Kellyan will not be coming with you.
Before I leave, I'm of course going to hug Kellyan, as it has been an emotional journey to get here. Roller coaster, if you will, if anybody here would know what that is. I don't think you do. I'm going to pull out the letter that you once gave me and hand it back to you. I think there is something else you should look into while you're here. Enjoying the life that you've left behind, reclaiming the things that you have lost, being brave, as you once told me to be.
I don't even know if his feelings are still the same.
There is one way to find out, Kellyan, and if they have changed, then he's a greater fool than any man I've ever known.
And that's saying something.
Is that a diss on yourself?
Yes.
I guess it wouldn't hurt just to see what happens. And I know you gave up your necklace, and this might not be anything big in comparison, but she takes off her necklace that has her like house sigil on it, the one that she like left behind, that they gave back, as a token of friendship and sisterhood.
I appreciate that.
God, I'm gonna miss you.
I'll see you again soon.
Oh,
1
you
year.
better.
Or
With
soon.
at least a kid.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Anything else before the party departs to the south?
I'm gonna miss you, Kellyan.
I'm gonna miss you too. You better take good care of her, or else I'm pretty sure she would kick your butt, but if she doesn't, I'm gonna kick yours.
Well, yeah, I mean that's more of a threat of you kicking my butt than hers, but don't let her know that.
No, you don't let her know.
Excuse me? May not be physically intimidating, but by God, I could mix some drinks that would knock you on your ass.
I mean, she's not
That
wrong.
sounds like a challenge and a fun time.
I'll just go talk to Legolas about my problems.
Ooh.
Oh, damn.
Well, we're gonna talk about this later. For now, this is Kellyan's moment. God damn it!
No, I'm gonna miss you too. And I give Gundyr a hug. And then I also slip him like a little flask of ale.
Oh, thanks. I'm gonna need this.
Yeah, I figured. Don't
Just
tell
remember-
Nesriel I gave it to you.
Just remember one thing. Take time out of the day to put yourself in a quiet place.
I will. Thank you.
It's the best way to keep yourself sharp.
Yeah. And I hit you on the I lightly. No, I don't hit you as hard as I have been, but I tap you on the head. Don't fuck anything up.
I make no promises.
You wouldn't be you if you did.
All I can do is try.
It's good enough. You're a good man.
Mm-hmm.
I look over at Willard, and I pull out like one of like the elven plates that I borrowed. That I took. I know you got rid of one of yours, and I hope this one is good enough. It kind of has a crack in it, but I think like if you, and I take my finger and I rub it. Maybe not, but here.
Thanks.
Yeah, I would have gotten a tattoo of your name on it, but I felt that was just weird.
That is weird.
But I want to extend the invitation that in case you don't want to stay with your fellow hobbits, you can always find a house and a family here. If you ever want to come back. Eartha Dane could use a hero like you.
Oh.
I mean,
Yes.
you can always stay too. You don't need to go.
I don't know. Would be nice to have. I look around at everybody else. This isn't. She just has to stay here a year, right? That's what.
That's
Yep.
right.
To be fair, Arthedain and the Shire, you're almost neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
At
Well, I'm
least-
sure we'll go. We'll have this whole dragon thing sorted out within a year. We'll be back, and then
Hey, don't do the dragon thing without me. Unless it becomes a problem, then
Wait.
do it without me. Anyways, I look over at Allred. I had a hard time figuring out what to get you because you have everything. You have a beautiful wife, you have a home, you have a good future ahead of you.
Certainly hope so.
You do. So there's nothing I could possibly gift you that could be better than what you have now. But here. And I give you like a little figurine. Like it's really crappily like carved and stuff, but I tried.
Doesn't have Glirrell's face on it, does it?
Oh God!
No.
Don't tell me
No, it's a little
small
horse.
north with
It's a
Gliriel.
Claire's face on it.
No.
Oh God! It's back. Burn it with fire.
I don't understand. What? Why?
just
I mean-
bad at arts and crafts, okay?
If you give Allred a little horse token with Gliriel's face carved in it, you get 1,000 inspiration.
no Glariel's face, but it's like a little horse, and like you can tell like I got like a little tufts of hair from like maybe a random horse or maybe even your horse, and I put it like on the end with the tail and stuff.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's not much, but I mean maybe you can give it to your son or daughter to play with, and
I will. You've always been much too hard on yourself. You should stop that.
I'll try.
Indulge a little.
It will be hard, but I'll try. It'll start in small steps. But thank you, Allred. You have been a very constant companion, and you've always been steadfast, and I admire that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think at that point the party does in fact head south, leaving Kellyanne for the epilogue scenes. And you're gonna visit the Shire, right? I mean,
Yep.
Well, on the way down there, Willard, what do you want to do?
Well, I suppose we could go and check in.
Do you not plan on staying?
No, maybe I suppose we could go clean up the house.
Would you like a hand?
Sure, you don't really fit.
I'll squeeze in.
Alright, yeah, I guess I'll show you. I can show you my parents' equipment, Nestriel, all the stuff that I learned on. It's not as high quality as what you've got, but
I'd be very curious to see how your parents adapted all of the things. Maybe they've made discoveries I haven't. Would be very interesting.
Mom still has. She had notebooks. Both of them, I guess, had all sorts of their notes. We could go through them. There might be something in there.
They very well might, Willard.
Well, as you get into the Shire, it appears that you are recognized and
Of course we are.
seem to be heralds of excitement as like a crowd of before long a crowd of hobbits is like kind of walking with you towards Willard's place. And before you even get there, though, you run into the Fallowhide brothers.
Hey, it's those guys.
Hey!
Marco comes up, says, Willard. My mother told you would be coming by soon. Or your mother told me you'd be coming by soon. She got a little more talkative for the dead when all those spirits were roaming around. So she wanted me to let you know that she's proud of you, and we are too. So we're going to throw 2 weeks festival in honor of all the great deeds and the spirits and Willard.
I know we have plans, but I really want to stick around for 2 weeks to hang and party with these people.
Okay.
Look, I know this isn't up your alley, but they have so much food and alcohol.
I know. It'll give me time to help Willard go through his family's things as well.
Right, yeah.
Did you say your mother or my mother?
I mean, I think I said your mother, or my mother, but I meant your mother. You know, the spirits were often walking around a little bit lately, last couple months ago, you know. Things were getting kind of bad, I hear, playing around.
Wait, what? Did her, how, who is it? Did she, how did, when, then? With the, what? No.
Use your words!
Wait, and then Willie just keeps walking and like unable to start a proper sentence, like the whole he wants. He's like, what is it? Is she? What ghost?
I'm going to
I got a mom. I got a ghost mom.
Spirit, I think. Spirit mom, I think is. Yeah, but haven't seen her around a little bit since things calmed down. But yeah, you never know.
I imagine it's when we were defending the spirit realm.
Oh, okay. And then I go home, I guess.
Yeah, you go home and they set up in the party tree kind of square a 2-week festival of hobbits eating things.
Mm-hmm.
They've even hired a wandering conjurer who does fireworks. You actually know Gandalf, so it's even better.
Yes.
Gandalf, what are you doing here, you crazy old man?
Hey, be nice to him. He's on the council. I'm trying to keep my good impression.
Yeah, but he's also like the most down-to-earth member of the council.
So
Radagast
at some
is pretty
point,
down to earth.
Radagast is
I've
too
probably had
down
too
to
much
earth.
to drink. And I go up to Gandalf and I'm probably like, so is Nestriel going to be on the council like permanently? I think she'd be a fantastic addition. You should totally, you should absolutely include her in on that.
I feel like I should make you roll persuasion.
Oh yeah. I totally have that.
Mm-hmm. But I will say, man, when that demon grabbed you I thought you were going straight down that
You know
pit.
what? I have an inspiration. I'm using it.
You said inspiration. Yeah, I thought you were going straight down that
I
pit.
you got 1,000 inspiration.
Just
I got a
missed.
15.
Just
15?
missed.
Okay. The Gandalf nods, but says, "Oh, the council will have to take that up on their own. Definitely, Nestriel has shown that she is one of the more knowledgeable people in the lands, and has used her knowledge to help out.
Great. That's great.
But
Now,
for the moment, I've got a pipe to smoke and some stuff to blow up."
I gotcha. I got a half elf to go make. I'll see you later.
Hell yeah, brother!
Oh, shh,
Oh,
wait, it's Gandalf.
I got half
Don't
an
tell
elf
the
to make.
council. Don't. Shh, this is a secret. Okay. Good night, Gandalf.
But don't tell no one.
My half ain't the elf half, if you know what I mean.
Oh my goodness.
Let's blow some shit up and drink, Gandalf, and smoke.
I've got a half elf to go make.
I'll take a make.
So that first night of the party, though, they call Willet up to because he's the guest of honor.
Speech.
And Marco goes up and he's got it's probably a book. It's not a very big book. But he says, one of the things your mom told me before she died is that not only that she was proud of you, and we're all proud of him too, right?
Hey!
Cheering, drinking, stuff goes on for a while. And then later, but she also wanted to make sure that she had a chance to pass down her famous potato and cabbage soup recipe. So we wrote that in a book here for you, and here it is.
It's a long recipe.
Well, we figured you might want to write some other secret recipes in there if you had time.
It's a way to prepare potatoes seen nowhere else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And this way we could put a lock on the book kind of thing. You know. Secret. But anyways, yeah, and then they continue to do the celebration. There are lots of fireworks right afterwards. And
It's a celebration.
Nice.
and you spend 2 weeks in the Shire drinking and doing your stuff.
Willett.
Yeah.
You make us that recipe, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna
It's
show
tasty.
you. I
what?
show our house. I show the table that the Prince of Arthedain laid on when my parents were healing him, and this is where, when I was a kid, I broke my dad's glasses on accident because I was
he studying too
mad.
much?
And this is my parents were gonna turn this small hill into like a more house. Guess
More house.
there's lots of space in the Shire and resources, so you know.
Well, you're gonna need some guest rooms for when your friends arrive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're gonna need. It's tiny right now. It's extra tiny,
Mm-hmm.
especially for you guys. So
We could use a couple extra feet of ceiling space.
I think Sometimes.
I mean, I don't think he needs to go out of his way, but it would be appreciated.
And
Small
yeah, actually, when Willard's going inside, he kind of absent-mindedly takes off his sword and like lays it by the door, and then forgets to get it when we're leaving. Leaves it behind.
All right.
We will also note that the brothers Fallahide attempt to introduce Willard to Hattie Tubbs, who has been operating their spy network for some time.
Fucking Hattie Tubbs.
It is a very good house, Willard.
Thanks. I helped. I was little, but I helped build it. A little bit.
Nice. I appreciate it.
So you're going to come with us, Willard?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure you're not forgetting something?
Huh? Oh, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess we're not going with that symbolism, and I go and get my goddamn sword.
No.
Well, I mean, you have the option to stay. Certainly, the brothers Fallahide would be interested in your services.
And there is a lot in this house to go through. Perhaps taking some time
If you want to
to
take your time,
find
man,
out what you
we're
want
not
to do
gonna-
next.
yeah, we're not gonna twist your arm.
We'll be back. This is not the last time you'll see the likes of us.
Dragon.
I'd be a piss poor hero if I didn't slay a dragon and come back from it.
And we have a year before we can deal with that. We did promise Kellyan.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, if you want to stick around here, we'll come back for you before we deal with that. I think it'd be good for you. But if you want to come with us, I'm down with that too.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll stay, I guess.
Willard, what do you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
You've felt directionless for a little while now.
I want to be with you guys.
Do you want to come to Mirkwood, or do you want to go to Lorien?
You know, Kellyan's house. I'm just throwing that out there.
Or
Kellyan's
But
house.
this is where we split. From here, Gunder and I return to Greenwood the Great, and Gliriel and Allred return to Lorien.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no.
But between us,
I'll see you when you come back then.
okay, that's fair. I mean, if you wanted to come with me, I would definitely appreciate the moral support.
You'll be fine.
I'm just saying,
I got
Allred's going to be fine. I'm the one who's in the danger.
I got a 26 on stealth to hop into their cart and sneak off with them when they leave. Because I'm tired of having this conversation.
Wonderful. I was just saying, I would have liked to have him around.
Okay.
Well-
Gundir, if you want, we can come with you, and I'll hold your hand.
Don't patronize me. You're not the one whose life is...
I'm not going to let him kill you.
He threatened to kill me. I
He's
know what it's
still my
like.
father.
Yeah,
And
and
he
he
will
threatened to
respect
kill
my
you,
choices.
and you didn't do anything.
I took it. Like
Ugh.
a man.
It's like a...
Don't make me leave both of you behind, because I will.
You can't leave me behind.
Oh, I can. You'll catch up, but I can.
I can. You'll catch up.
Okay, well, Willard is coming along, and it looks like you can delay the question mark about when you split up, although it is actually a good time to split up because you could head south through Tharbad and then take the route over there to over the Redhorn Pass to Lorient, while the rest could take the high pass towards there. But the other option is both taking the high pass until you over the Misty Mountains, and then Alred and Gliriel turning south and riding down the Vale of the Anduin until they reach Lorient.
I think I'd rather hit go through Rivendell and then split at Old Ford, head down the Anduin.
Yeah, so you do that with a Willett in tow, and come to there. As it turns out, Ursa's home is pretty much right at the spot where you guys could split up. So I assume you swing by Ursa's on your way there.
Yep.
As well.
Don't want to spend lots of time on Ursa's, so we're just going to make this Ursa welcomes you, you do your thing, and then Ursa says, well, if you're going to go introduce your girlfriend to Thranduil, I'd best come along.
Oh, boy.
Hey.
Oh my god, I wanted to ask you, but I wasn't sure if it was okay. Oh.
Hey. You wouldn't happen to know anything about a ring of power that might have gone missing in the spirit realm, would you? It's kind of important.
Figure that out next year.
Yeah, no, doesn't ring any bells. I thought you guys had all of them.
Okay. It's fine. I'm just going to worry about that until that's found somewhere.
Only slightly insulted you had to ask that.
Well, I
It's
don't
okay,
suspect
it'll be found
taking
in the epilogue at this point, I
It'll
think.
be found in the epilogue.
Good. All right.
Allred and Gliriel turn south at this point, and we'll do their... I mean, basically, you've already done your Lorient stuff, so you arrive at Lorient and have at least a year there as
Allred,
as you
I'm gonna miss
settle.
you. Your support was invaluable at that whole thing in Rivendell, and I appreciate you as a person and making sure Gundyr doesn't die when he fights things.
You're very welcome. I appreciate everything you did for me as well.
I mean, it was a two-way street. I kept him alive, too.
Of course you did, babe. Of course you did.
Gliriel will say to Nestriel before she leaves that it has been a wonderful journey, and I am glad for your companionship, and I suspect that as the years go by, it is best that we stay closely in touch, for we have a unique path that the two of us are following.
I agree.
And that's when I put my hand on her belly.
Hey!
Could have spent your inspiration for that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I still have an inspiration left?
I don't need inspiration for that. I roll a 20.
For it.
I do. Do I want to save that for Thranduil or for
I am-
babies?
I'm spending. Can I spend my inspiration? I have 3 left. Can I do one for him and one for her?
And my inspiration?
Yes. Kellyan's gonna be an auntie twice over.
One kid per inspiration?
One kid per
Oh
inspiration.
shit! Is one of us having twins?
Bam.
I don't know about that.
No, I'll still have one left over.
Okay.
Both
now.
have twins.
Dun, dun, dun. Although the twins
Karen
would
will
be
have to
fine.
save that one for herself, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it.
Okay.
Oh,
Anything else on the parting with Allred?
Well, I guess we need to know where Willett goes.
I assume Willett is staying with Nestriel and Gundyr at this point.
Oh, I think he actually froze.
He's gone.
he's bred Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to assume he's going with Willett or Gundyr for the moment, if we need to do.
Willett is going with Willett.
I mean, we could roll for it.
I'm pretty sure he's going with me because I need him more.
Okay, so Nestriel and Gundyr, you've managed to leave this for the last, which is the
shit.
return to
Par for the course,
the
man.
Woodland Realm.
All right,
You
hold
work
on.
at it May until you can't avoid it.
Hold on.
Ooh,
Yes, we've now officially lost Casey,
Okay, that's better.
but we got to
Oh,
keep
our
going. So
faces.
hopefully he'll be back soon,
Mm-hmm.
and we all look strange.
Can't.
He's on his
It's too
phone.
hard to coordinate.
Mm-hmm. Good lord. Hey. There we go. Now you can see my face at least.
There, now we at least are just staring at a blank screen of Middle Earth until
That
Casey gets
works.
back. That's how that'll work. That being said, we do need to continue our to Mirkwood.
Yep.
Greenwood.
It's.
And
I
the
got a
Woodland
little
Realm.
work to do before it's the Great Wood again. Greenwood the Great.
So, after much journeying there to the north, you ride up into Thranduil's realm. Gundyr and Nestriel and Ursa, and probably Willid.
Mm-hmm.
The doors are open, and they're not actually open, but elves spot you way before you get there, and they
Yep.
Yeah.
open them, and Legolas is there waiting for you.
Brother! And I get a hug from him because I'm one of the very few people that can get away with doing that, and I enjoy it.
Yes.
Gundyr, you should also be like, brother!
No, I'll just
Soon to be uncle.
I'll stand for a hearty handshake. I present to you this laurel and hearty handshake.
And they ask for Ursa, and that she gets introduced, and you are all led into the hall at this stage.
Has father returned? Or...
He has not, but we expect him soon.
That's good. We have much to talk about, he and
Cool. We'll just sit here and wait for him to come back.
Are you going to mention anything to Legolas about things before Thranduil gets here, or wait for Thranduil?
I think we should probably talk to him about
I.
this.
Talk to Legolas first? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll mention it. Legolas, I'm sure you noticed on the journey that Gundyr and I are a little bit more than friends, and we are looking to rekindle the line of fan? Shit, what's my last name? Hold on. It's been a while since I
Her
read
last name is so
title.
fancy, she hasn't read it in so long.
Hold on. Sorry for the anticlimactic pause, everybody.
It is a long last name, though, to be fair.
House of Elevorn, that's right. So we look to rekindle the House of Elevorn to the south. Now that southern Mirkwood is cleared of the oppressive darkness that kept it corrupted, I plan on working with the council to rekindle what has been lost and regrow southern Mirkwood to the glory it should be. We can be then known as the Great Greenwood again.
Nestor, you've always been one of the smartest and most knowledgeable people that I've known. But I guess I may question your wisdom here. If you were to rekindle a line, there are perhaps better options.
Whoa!
There are no other options I love enough to seek such a thing, except that I can create with Gundyr.
Well, obviously that's a little bit of a shock. But I think that it was best that we prepare to lessen that shock for Father as much as possible.
I agree.
Oh, yeah, because he's
so-
gonna try and murder me.
So it's best if we make sure and test that Gundyr truly is worthy of this rekindling an elven line.
I will face any test.
Brother, be nice.
Well, good. Why don't you and I test each other's strength a bit.
Oh, I mean, test of strength. All right, let's do this.
So he leads you out to a sparring field of some sort, and he pulls out some knives.
That's your weapon?
Oh, Gundir. I would warn you, but I think you should know better, just on the stories I've told alone.
Well, let's be clear, Legolas is definitely a warrior. So, high level Adventures in Middle-earth warriors, versus slayers.
Yep.
My warriors. He is my opposite, so.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my great axe. Unless those knives are magical, in which case I'll use my mithril axe. But
they don't seem any more magical than elven weapons always seem magical.
yeah. Well, then I guess I gotta use mithril. Fucking elven made stuff being better than anything else.
We'll get you one.
Okay.
Don't worry.
So we're just going to resolve this with the d20. Plus
right.
proficiency in your combat. Proficiency in combat plus strength in your case.
Right. All right. Whew. All right. That is going to be a 29.
That's a good roll.
Did you roll like Greg rolled, or?
So your proficiency is 5, right?
Yeah, proficiency 5, strength is 4.
So you rolled a critical 20?
Yes.
Huh. That is a good roll. Yeah, you totally win that fight.
It's a very well-timed natural 20. Kudos, Gundir. I was a little worried.
That's kind of why I phrased it that way, so you would be on pins and needles. Because if I just said nat 20, everyone would have known. I was like,
We had a little bit of drama. He got a 22, which is still pretty beatable in a sense, but you win the fight against Legolas. It's obviously not to the death.
right.
And with that, he says that I will be sure to let Father know that this is not any ordinary man. That Gundir has the strength of the men of old. And we'll see if that helps at all.
I give him a hug. That is the nicest thing one of any of you have ever said to me.
Oh, I'm going to openly laugh. Oh, this is good.
Legolas seems pretty awkward, and then grits out of teeth, I look forward to you being also my brother.
Yeah!
If you have an insight above -5, you're not sure he means it?
Oh.
I don't care because he said it. And that's good enough.
Oh my god, please don't try and hug my father, or he will kill you no matter what I say.
Thranduil has only been alive since the beginning of the world. I'm sure you can take him in combat.
Listen, between you and me, Nestriel, I really only wanted Legolas's approval. So.
Oh, that's fair. I do hold his opinion in very high regard.
Because I felt like your dad was more or less of a rock that would never change his mind, regardless of the information put in front of him.
Well, I never thought that he would attempt to help Middle-earth. Just lock himself away in his castle and...
But he did!
But he did leave. and I'm very curious to hear his reasoning for it.
Misguidedly so, but he did.
Well, who knows what
Which
Alatar
just
told him.
shows me that nobody's perfect.
So you get to spend a couple of days here, waiting for Thranduil,
Oh, God.
which is its own. There's lots of rumors at this stage running through the elves because things.
We're spending a lot of time together.
Yeah.
I show you the place where I studied, the massive amount of books that I have, my plant collection,
All the stuff you couldn't show me before because of reasons.
because of reason.
I'm super excited about that, except for the impending threat that is looming ever closer towards Mirkwood.
It'll be okay.
And
You
then
won't-
one day, while you are showing off your stuff to Gundyr, the word is that Thranduil is returning from his trip to the Grey Havens.
You should put on that suit that I made you, the one or commissioned for you, the elven one. It will help him a little, I think.
I don't think it's gonna help.
No, don't do it.
I think I should just stick with my mithril armor and be as I am.
It's not gonna help you.
I know it's not gonna help, but I gotta do this my way. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And so
I love you.
You're very cute when you're being silly. And I'll give him a kiss.
You're very cute when you're being silly.
So you meet him in the hall. Ursa's there, and
God, I'm so glad Ursa's there. Oh, and Willard came back.
Hello.
Willard, my man.
My soul was briefly occupied. It was out of service there for a moment. I'm back.
Good. 'Cause,
We assumed you went with Nestriel and
Gundyr.
Gundyr.
so you're there in the room when they're just about to meet Thranduil.
Oh, great.
Yeah, this shit's going down. Oh my God. Are you hiding? Can I see you?
Yeah,
So
I think I'm right there. Yeah.
Okay, I need you to stand next to me right now. I know it's a weird request, but right now you just standing there is making me feel a lot better about this.
Feel like we've done more dangerous things.
Maybe you're right, but
Though we haven't done nearly as scary things. This is probably the scariest.
yeah, exactly.
Well,
This is why I
Thranduil
keep
generally
you here.
seems to be in a good mood when he arrives. Or at least not any worse mood than usual. He is happy to see Nestriel, and is glad that you have returned. And as he walks up to you, he says, "There is much that we need to talk about.
I agree.
For it has come to my attention that you traveled to the east and interfered with the plans of Alatar."
I did. His logic was flawed. Though I understand where he was coming from, I can't imagine the parallels between him and the Dark Lord were missed by one so versed in lore as you.
And if he was to complete his task, it was imperative that somebody did alert the Valars as soon as possible, so I went.
Could you not dissuade him from his task?
I could not.
How did your discussion with the Valar go? I find myself very curious.
I did not travel to the west, for there is no returning from there.
That explains a lot.
For as it is probably for the best, I did not need to go.
I'm very glad. I would have missed you a great deal. And I have news for you as well. And I turn and look at Gundyr and extend my hand to him.
I take her hand and I step forward.
Gundyr and I are going to help the council reclaim Southern Mirkwood and attempt to rebuild what we once had there. We will rekindle the House of Elevorn together. This is my choice.
There is a stone face that he responds with, a motionless glare that his eyes slightly shift to Gundyr and back to Nestriel, and that is all. There is a silence that takes a moment to be broken as the entire room kind of holds their breath for Thranduil.
Mm-hmm.
Kellyanne is actually holding her breath. Good way to go.
Kellyanne's actually holding her breath right now.
When Luthien came to Thingol with the same request for the hand of Beren, a mortal that had enraptured her, he came in fury and anger upon the scene and said to Beren, "Bring me a Silmaril for the hand of my daughter." He assumed, of course, that Beren could not do so. But I remember that he did. That he traveled into the depths of Morgoth's realm and cut a Silmaril from his crown and brought it to the feet of Thingol. And in the process caused much destruction and death of many of Thingol's own elves. So I ask myself whether I should make that same mistake.
I think the deeds that Gundyr and I have accomplished more than prove his worth. And my love for him, regardless of any task given, will not change.
Certainly, as Beren and Luthien, you have traveled into the darkness and faced the powers and threats of another age, and come back unscathed. So I feel like I should just skip the quest and the danger and those things that brought about the death of things and go right to the core of what finally saved Beren and the price that he paid. For while he had a Silmaril, the hand that he held it in was bitten off, and he was forever known as Beren One-Handed. If this Gundyr here would be willing to sacrifice his hand for Nestriel's
I want to
marriage.
interrupt him to see how
Why stop
serious
at
he
a
is.
hand when you can take an arm?
He seems pretty serious.
Shit.
Go
In
ahead.
fact, he draws his sword.
It's right there. I'm not going to move it.
I step to the
Regardless of
side.
what you think or what you say, this is how it's going to be.
He raises his longsword and swiftly brings it down upon the hand, stopping right as it cuts into the top, staring at you.
And I stare straight back at him.
Is this your choice, Nestriel, then? To choose
Yes.
the fate of men rather than us?
Father, as much as I love you and everything you've done for me, this is the fate of my house. We have ever only helped elves and men build a bridge that needs to be built, and I will continue this tradition.
He sheathes his sword. Then you can continue that tradition elsewhere. For I will allow this union to happen, but I will not have a man living under my roof.
I expected nothing less.
At this point, Ursa gets up and says, Lord of the Elves, I am not old or wise or powerful as you. And because of that, for one, I welcome both of these to my house any time, whether it is to live or visit. But I will say to you, you are old enough to know that the time of elves is waning. You are old enough to know what fate comes to this world, and it frightens you. And today it has frightened you even more, for you have seen it with first hand. You have seen all that is grand and glory to your eyes slowly degrade because of this. And I say to you, as one who has seen the men, this is not a degrading. This is not a slip into nothingness. This is just the next step that Middle-earth makes to glory. It's just glory of elves and men, not just the glory of elves. And if they won't ask it, I will. I would say that you may tell them to live elsewhere, not live under your house, but at least tell them you will welcome them when they come to visit, and that they will always have a place to sleep here, even if this is not their home.
And I will come to visit, Father.
Well, he says, Legos would be sad if you didn't come visit.
Of course, just Legolas.
And then he turns and, as he's like walking out of the hall, says, "Of course, you can visit whenever you want." And and then he walks out for the moment.
Thank you, Ursa. I appreciate you speaking up on our behalf.
Elves. Pats you on the shoulder.
I was super positive I was going to lose a hand.
He wouldn't dare.
No, he absolutely would.
That was whatever that was. It was very passionate, Christina.
And with that, the last of our going home scenes have been there. Obviously, Nesril and Gundry aren't necessarily staying here at home. They might be traveling, and over the years, probably with Willard in tow.
Mm-hmm.
Although Willard might go check out that dragon or do some of his own adventures, it's hard to say. But as for this companionship and this particular journey, we have in fact come to an end. They have reached where this story ends and another one begins. A story that they have impacted, that they have set upon the course, but is not necessarily their story. It's potentially the story of others. We have a story to worry about as we see a king of the dwarves standing upon the throne of the Witch King, with a Nazgul still standing beside him, and dwarves around pondering what it is, the next step for the dwarves, and there is a glint of the ring of power on his finger that still has the slight corruption of Sauron that helped craft it. We have a Dunedain lady in a secret library deep in Cardalin, poring over a ring of power that she managed to sneak out of a bag, while next to her stands other artifacts of the ancient times, a dragon helm and a dark blade that was once held by the sons of Fëanor.
Oh, that bitch.
I knew it.
What might happen next? And finally, as our last scene, we see a woodsman in Mirkwood cut down a tree, and as the tree falls over, he looks into a bone that is grown into the woods and pulls it out, and sees a ring around it, a plain golden ring, and he holds it up. He says, and our story fades to black.
What?
Shit!
Fuck!
Happy epilogue, fuckers.
Thank you
Industrial,
all.
it was in the woods.
What was her name? It started with a B. That bitch.
Thank you all for playing. We are obviously late, but clearly you had to go there. We are planning on doing another stream next Sunday, just probably an hour or however long it takes, to just chat and talk about the 21 episodes that we did. So we will do that. So we won't do any of that talking now. We're going to save that all as a cliffhanger for things to talk about next week. That'll be us plus anyone who wants to chat and along with us and bring questions. So thanks everyone for a final episode, and we will see you next week. As we are done. Wow, look at that. This journey is over.
Oh my goodness.
Looking forward to all your burning Gundyr questions.
Oh, it's not all about you. Obviously, there's going to be some Nesril in there, too.
As long as I make it on the council, I feel like I've accomplished goals I didn't even know I had.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone.